Okay. Should be live. I'm gonna grab my beverage.
All right, pulling up chat. Pulling up the chat.
Hello, chat.
There we go.
Sounded a little vindictive, Brad. I gotta be honest.
He's a vindictive person. Just kidding, he's not.
I can't. Hi, Funky. How are you?
What's up, Funky Duck? There we go. Did you get my footage?
Yep. All scenes are set up.
Sweet. All right. Well, I'm ready to watch trailers when y'all are.
Okay.
Fucking go.
All right. Here we go. Pressing the button.
This really is my week.
Hello, friend. It's been a long time.
It's all happening.
Oh,
Red
because
Dead,
of this?
Red Dead Redemption, Alien Isolation, Silent Hill 2.
Everything's coming up Millhouse for that.
Come to PC. This is the first time it's come to PC?
Stupid is the
Yeah.
word we use around here.
Does this know?
Wait, what? Hold on. What? Red Dead? Oh, the first one?
The first one, yeah.
Oh, shit.
I'm a fighter, sir, and I'll fight to the end.
Oh, how good of a port this is, I have no
I
idea.
know any other kind.
An illiterate gunslinger, you sure know how to make a girl
Well,
blush.
PC games, they age well.
Well, I know, but like Rockstar doesn't have a very good track record with ports of their.
Oh, the GTA thing. Well, surely they're going to do better than that. My God.
Oh, they kind of have. They should, yes. But it also includes Undead Nightmare, which is badass.
Yeah.
Good
Which I've always
time.
wanted to go back.
Wait,
and
when does this
replay.
come out?
I think.
The end of the month. For the anniversary.
Hello, old friend. It's been a long
Oh, it's
time.
looping. Oh well, I guess we've said.
I thought we were
time for
talking about
Halloween?
more.
This
I mean, I
country
just
is
wanted to
infested
mention
with
that,
all
like,
manner of scum.
Rockstar, they put out last year a PS4 port of Red Dead Redemption 1. So
That's right. I
They
own that.
clearly
I,
been working on it for a while.
Around here.
I forgot about that. I own that.
Oh, so this is that ported to PC.
Yeah. yeah.
Theoretically, yeah.
That's cool. This has literally never been available on PC.
I'm a fighter,
Nope.
sir.
Absurd.
and I'll fight to
Absurd.
the end.
It is.
Absolutely
Yeah.
bananas.
And
Bloody job. I don't think I know any other kind.
but the thing is, I don't think the PS4 port had native 60 frames. I think it was just flat stable 30. I don't think so. When I remember
Let me
the coverage.
see.
Why would that be the case?
I don't know. I
But
don't
didn't
think-
it get updates on the Xbox to 60 or whatever?
It's got
It was already
PS4
backwards
Pro
compatible.
enhancements.
The since it was backwards compatible on the Xbox, that just had the native FPS boost.
I mean, the box says PS4 Pro enhancement. If that doesn't boost the frame rate, then what the fuck is?
I think it was more of like a.
Y'all
4K
excited for the
visual
new
thing.
Ast Libre game spin-off? I
I've
it's
never
a,
known what an Ast Libre game actually
roguelike.
looked like.
I think it's like a roguelike or something. I think it's standalone, or I don't know if it's standalone or DLC. But
I always thought this was just a JRPG franchise,
I'm sorry.
like just a normal, typical 3D JRPG.
A normal
A
JRPG.
3D JRPG. Well, I've talked about Ast Libre Revision on the podcast, and it looked like this kind of game. So you might
When?
be thinking of something else. When it came out, a couple years ago.
Okay.
I haven't earned my JRPG credentials yet, so I don't know.
That's
How
true.
close are you?
You do. He plays the big budget pretty ones. We've determined, and this certainly doesn't qualify.
You can't start excluding those now. It's too late. Asked Libra. Very nice. Yeah, this seems like pretty cool.
There are 44 counts in the
Okay,
environment.
I have not watched this trailer yet, but I saw this and was instantly like, I don't know if I should watch this trailer because I'm gonna want to play it, but I know
What
how
is this?
fucking Pathologic 3.
Okay.
I remember
what's
how
wrong with the trailer?
unforgiving. Well, nothing's wrong with the trailer, but the Pathologic 2 was so unforgiving. I had to stop. I had to put it down. So I want to play this. I know I'm gonna want to play this, but it's probably gonna be.
This was a surprise, or did we know this was coming?
No, I mean, well, to me it was a surprise. I had no idea this was in development.
I don't recall it at all.
I know the 2 is loved quite a bit, and the first.
2 is loved, but it is so probably the hardest game I've ever played. In my own personal opinion. I mean, it's a different kind of difficulty. It's not like Dark Souls difficulty. It's just like just obtuse survival.
Yeah.
I have played a lot more survival games since I tried Pathologic 2.
Yo, this is
Maybe
Shady Night, man. This shit's like out today or tomorrow. This is cool.
Which one is this?
This Shady Night.
Shady Night. There's
Or
so
as I
many
like to
night
call it,
games.
Neon Night.
Yeah, this
Yeah.
looks badass.
It's like Neon White.
Neon White
or,
without cards.
And with
well, cards were just abilities. But what's the one on like the cyberpunky one where you run Grid Runner? What's Ghost Runner?
Ghost Runner. Yeah, there we go.
Yes, Ghost Runner energy as well.
This
But
is
this, I
not
played the
3D,
demo of this a
right?
while back. This was super cool. You could like throw your blade and teleport to the blade like midair and stuff. And
Is this VR or is this
feels
just
really cool. No, not a VR game. This is like a first-person Neon Night.
I feel like this will be a nightmare in VR.
I mean, probably.
Well, they've made games like this in VR that actually work pretty well, I suppose.
Really?
Damn, that comes out. That's tomorrow.
Yeah, it was a
Indeed.
surprise. I mean, I like the demo a lot. I probably would have like bid on that or some shit if we had a date, not 2 days
Yeah.
before release.
Oh,
Is this a
360p.
Is this a new
this-
trailer?
This one's. What does that mean?
I
Like,
think
not a
we
trailer.
watched the trailer for Metro. Oh,
this
maybe
is fresh
looks new.
gameplay. This is new.
Okay.
Yeah, but this is long though, so you're gonna have to skip. I just thought this.
You're gonna make me
I
skip
don't
through.
know.
a
I think
Metro
I just
trailer?
missed
How dare you.
Half-Life Alex.
Yeah.
I do miss Half-Life.
Did we just
Alyx.
watch one last week?
No, we watched it like it's like a cinematic
story trailer.
like a story trailer for it. This is actual
Oh,
gameplay.
I forget.
But I am here
Well, like-
for
like,
any
between doing
first-person
this
shooter
every
that
week
wants
and
to like take cues from Half-Life Alyx. Sign me up.
Yeah.
Well, I think this is the Arizona Sunshine developers, and they're
It
like
is.
pretty. I mean, that's like a pretty popular.
Yeah. They're not
VR?
the best, but they are definitely good VR games. In fact, they're just about to release like a remaster of Arizona Sunshine 1. 2 came out earlier this year.
Oh.
I'm liking the restraint this dude is showing.
I always remember hearing about the first one, but I guess I never played either.
Yeah, this looks like this could be my
It's like
jam.
unedited gameplay.
And just fast forward a little.
Between
just-
this and
VR,
Behemoth,
VR is still something. Every time I play it, I'm like, oh yeah, VR. This stuff
amazing.
is good.
between this Behemoth and that Alien Incursion, Rogue Incursion.
Yeah.
Who's doing the Alien one? Is that like also
That's
a known
that's
VR
a
developer?
relatively unknown studio, which is why I'm a little skeptical.
Well, it's not just that, but like Aliens, as a video game IP in the past, it's been kind of rocky here and there. I mean, you've had good games, you've had okay games,
You've had very bad games.
very
like-
bad games.
But specifically wanting an Alien experience in VR is like kind of been like a dream project for me. I don't know if this is going to be it.
Didn't you play
It's gonna be the-
Isolation in VR? Or they demoed it
Eventually,
in
Yeah.
VR? Or they
yeah,
put it in VR?
I played a demo of it in VR at E3 once, and it was pretty cool.
Yeah.
But they only let you play until you died, so that was a
so
pretty
the ol-
short demo.
Oh,
So the
you're
thing
saying
that
you're
really got
screwed.
me excited about Awakening, like it's already Metro, I was already really interested in it, but the fact that Exodus's thing was that it didn't have a lot of the supernatural aspects that Metro is known for. I was really disappointed by that. This game specifically stars the guy that's all about that spectral stuff. The main character Khan, and I am
The thing that Exodus
so
did that I
excited
thought
for
was pretty cool was you can like you put your backpack on the ground to get shit out of your backpack. I think they do that in VR in this one.
Yeah, I think they do.
Which work? I feel like it works better in VR than it did. In,
God, the spiders.
Tactile first person.
It's so funny too, right? It's like, well, in
Half
Half-Life Alex, the horrible part was the fucking head crab, especially the black.
There it
crab.
is.
So
I
we'll just put them in this.
The
It's
spiders.
so like shamelessly wanting to be Half-Life Alex, but it's also like probably the best thing they could do.
Yeah.
All games should strive to be Half-Life Alex.
Exactly. You can skip this. This was long.
Yeah.
I just completely forgot. But
When is this
between
coming?
doing game trailers every week and then when I stream, I also watch some trailers at the beginning of the stream. So I just kind of forget which ones I've seen and haven't seen.
Do we have a release date for this yet?
November 8th or 9th or something like that.
November, December are going to be VR heavy months.
Yeah, but I'm gonna
I
wait
think that
until-
happens a lot because I think VR sells well.
Go up around Christmas time.
Yeah. I mean, this game is also going to be on
I
Quest
think
3.
Behemoth is going to be good. Behemoth is like weirdly hyped by like VR players.
I counterpicked Behemoth because I want it to be good, but I don't necessarily have.
You got it, but like that could also be like that fucking God of. I always forget the name of it. Rune of.
Asgard's Wrath.
Asgard's Wrath 2.
Did you say Asgard's Wrath? Okay. This is ridiculous.
Why is this happening?
This is stupid.
I am so sick.
Smile DLC for
Weird random crossovers. Oh my god.
What are you talking about? This is perfect. It's Halloween, baby.
It's so.
There's slim
dumb.
pickings, man, out there for trailers.
Do we want to maybe
what's
skip
this?
the Silent Hill trailer? Since we're going to talk
I mean,
about
I
tonight?
haven't watched.
I don't
Yeah, and I haven't watched this, and I don't really feel like I need to.
Yeah, what's up with his wife? What do you mean? Y'all want to? You what? Okay, why? Why do you want to skip it?
I mean, because I
This
don't
is
really
like the only good trailer on the fucking playlist tonight.
I didn't. What really? I've enjoyed the past few trailers. I mean, I didn't want to watch this trailer because I was I know it's weird to be media blackout for a remake of the game I've played a dozen times, but like, that's kind of where I'm at, and I'm.
All right.
I've got
I'm far
Silent
enough
Hill 2
into the
installed
game.
in the other room,
You
ready to go.
fucking Casual.
I'm far enough into the game now to know that like there are some genuine fucking surprises in this game, so
Okay.
I don't trust trailers.
Okay. I'll tell you what,
well, I was-
compromise. I will play it,
Here
but
I
I'm
am,
not going to
Oka
look at
vibes
it.
is all I was here for. Damn it.
Alright, well, we could start the podcast early for a change.
Well, there's not much, so you can skip it if you don't want to watch it.
I could just.
Prefer
Oh,
if I
wait,
don't
well, let's
I don't know if your wife is actually still alive, though, Nick.
shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up.
Oh, this is have y'all seen this? You seen this? You heard about this?
I have not seen this.
Motion Twin is Dead Cells. This is
That
their
was-
like new game.
From the Dead Cells
Which
creators?
Yeah, which I've seen. We've seen this announced, but I don't think we've ever seen, or we've seen gameplay as well. This is just a fucking trailer. I think it's launching in early access soon or something. But it looks pretty cool. I don't know. Dead Cells.
So they're working on like
cooking
2 or
that
3
one.
projects right now?
No. This is Motion Twin. They spun off like a sister studio that made what was that fucking game? But this is like the main Dead Cells team. They spun off that studio. It's called something different. It's not called Motion Twin anymore.
So, the other
I'd like to
studio
look
is
at
working
this.
on Prince of Persia.
Is this a multiplayer game?
Yeah, exactly. That's right. What's that studio called though?
I have no idea.
I like the look of this.
Is this co-op? Oh yeah.
Yeah, I
there
was
you
about to say,
go, right
I
there.
saw multiple
Evil
players.
Empire.
Fuck. Oh, that's early access. Okay, I was like, not another game.
Evil Empire was the studio that spun off of Dead Cells people.
The situation is dire.
They're the ones, yeah,
Evil
working
forces
on
are
the Rogue
poised to
Prince of
attack.
Persia,
We must prepare at once.
which is still in early access, right?
There's a problem.
Oh, this one I
Your
just
loyal
every time I see a
subjects
trailer,
refuse
it's
to
like,
work
this shit looks
unless you're
cool.
actively watching them. We must ensure we stockpile enough resources to strengthen our defenses. Now, Your Majesty has motivated the peasants, and they produced what we needed. I think it may be time to test some magic spells.
So this
Until
is
the meteor
micromanagement
shower
in the
does
video game.
wonders against orcs. What's that about?
It's like
If you're
a
not
god
fan of magic,
game.
You can always rely on your royal knights to defend
Town
the
builder.
castle, and if they're not enough, you can
Looks like
possibly
the town
shine
builder
your
almost tower defense a little.
flower dragon.
The mechanic of
In any
your
case,
villagers
I urge
only
you to
work
keep
when you're like
fortifying your
watching
castle
them and
against
you
even
actually
mightier
control the
foes. And remember, the enemy lurks
where
in
you're
every corner
watching.
of your
It's kind of an
kingdom.
interesting idea.
I'm interested.
Who's the developer? Like, I don't know why, but I get like vibes of Heroes Hour out of it.
Heroes Hour, because everything's tiny.
It was kind of like more like
This-
just the vibe.
Some of this stuff was posted in our Discord.
Leaguer, thank you for 19 months. Very kind of you.
Why did that
Also
look like?
Neon White Light.
Well, I guess it does. But I was. Okay, well, for a hot second, it made me think of. Oh my god. What's the game where you're like working in the office? It's like a.
The Office.
Neon White.
Job Simulator?
No, the. It's a
Stanley
narrator. Stanley Parable.
Stanley
It reminded me of Stanley Parable, but mixed with Neon White for a second.
Stanley.
It's giving me what is it? What was that recent game that chained together?
Oh, yeah,
What is-
yeah.
You can give
Free
vibes
climbing?
that.
Speaking of Stanley
Yeah.
Parable, where the hell is Wanderstop? That's supposed to be coming out
I
this year.
wonder where that is.
And they were Annapurna, and after Annapurna fell apart, they were out there saying, "No, we're still cool."
Wait,
we're still cool."
Annapurna fell apart?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That happened about a month ago. I think.
Everybody quit basically because
Oh, I missed that.
A management decision, and literally everybody quit on the game.
Wow.
I mean, technically they exist. They just don't have any employees.
Yeah, basically, the billionaire owner decided that she wanted the entire Annapurna to work on nothing but AAA games. And everyone at the studio rebelled and quit.
And they're publishing a lot of games. This one came out earlier this year. It was posted in our Discord, and I definitely been considering playing it. But it's been a pretty crazy year for games. I've just not had enough time.
Legacies of old.
Oh my god, it's a real person. Gold.
Coveting this one from afar, like Pocop in chat said. Indeed.
Yeah, we're going to have to talk
This
about
one's for
Halo.
you. This one's for you, Chris Davis.
Yeah, it was an eventful week.
Oh, I forgot to make a.
It's a service game, man. I guess you got to do a Halloween event.
Yeah.
It's slim pickings, yo. I think we got one more after this.
We could just start.
Well, we got one more after this, and then we'll start.
Fuck that last game.
No.
Oh wow,
Just
that
kidding.
was like
Just kidding.
super
I don't know
big
what it
hit
is.
Game, but...
I don't know what it is.
This is all battle pass shit.
What are you talking about? Halloween, baby.
Halloween themed battle pass
Spooks.
shit.
All about the Halloween vibes. You been playing this, Chris Davis?
I haven't played Halo Infinite in like 2-3 years.
Fake fan. He's a poser.
Yeah.
Fake fan.
What the fuck, dude?
I mean, my 4-player minute tonight is gonna be about Halo.
Halloween. That's why they go hard for Halloween, because of the pun. Or
So, based on what you just said, Chris Davis, should I not mention the Halo news and let's let you kind of bring it up in your
What is
4-player minute.
there's Halo news. They renamed the studio or whatever.
I mean, it just really depends on whether y'all want to talk about it or not. This is a Contra-like.
Yeah.
You lied to me, bitch.
looks
This
pretty
doesn't
good.
look like anything I would play.
Wow. You're right. There's
You
pixels.
hate
Man,
Contra?
that was fucking-
Are you dead inside?
I'm kidding. Well, I
That's
mean,
cool.
I'm not kidding.
There
This
is
is
no
really my-
Contra-like in UFO 50, which is so weird. Well, there's no
Really?
side-scrolling Contra-like. I don't think. Side-scrolling Contra-like?
It didn't make the cut. They only had 50 slots.
There's isometric Contra-likes, I suppose.
Where's the spreaders? I don't understand. Where are the spreaders?
Multi-phase.
You can't have a Contra-like without
maybe,
spreaders.
maybe, well, there's that game that's kind of like Ghouls and Ghosts. I guess that's also Contra tangential.
Yeah, that's
That
more
game's
melee
fucking
Contra,
hard,
right?
Unlockable skins and achievements.
No. I mean, Ghouls and Ghosts is a ranged game, but it's
I think gonna sound like Steve Blum.
What's up, Yumi Josie?
Can you
Were you talking about the David Hayter news?
defeat
Wait, what's the David Hayter news?
teasing
Said that
something.
he was,
the meat?
yeah, he's in the
He's returning to a role?
Yeah.
returning to a role. He's
He's-
done for a while.
No, he's
But-
fucking with us, dude.
Yeah,
he was
he's-
in Bloodstained. I bet he recorded some audio for Bloodstained 2 or something.
No.
A bunch of people were saying like, oh, he's gonna be the museum cop from X-Men. Or I did see the one who was it? I can't
Guyver
remember who
2?
it was, but no, not even that. No, they tweeted a picture and they're like, oh, could David Hayter be reprising his role as Solid Snake? But they posted a photo of not Solid Snake.
Yeah.
And just the fucking comments were just like they posted like the fucking GIF from Metal Gear Solid 2 where he's like, no, that is not Solid Snake. Because it's Venom
Nice.
Snake. Yeah, it's just funny. Show all the people. And then a bunch of people in the comments being like, yeah, that's not Solid Snake, that's Big Boss. And then other people be like, no, that's actually not Big Boss. Fucking Metal Gear Solid lore.
5. God,
Yeah.
the worst.
Man,
Oh,
why did that game
was
just
not
have
the
to have
worst.
such a
5 was fucking
shit
amazing,
story?
man.
It's
The
a
story
5 was an
a little
amazing game,
convoluted,
but that
the game
fucking
was
twist was the worst. Are you kidding
Yes,
me?
the twist sucked, and yes, I understand that it was probably just there so he could get fucking what's his face, Kiefer Sutherland to be in the game. That's probably the only reason that twist even exists in the story.
And they paid him by the word.
But that game was fucking awesome.
Great gameplay experience. Incredible.
Yes.
Unparalleled for years. That story was just incredible horseshit. No.
I mean, you know,
I don't want to.
Hideo Kojima was a Guyver fan, and fucking Solid Snake was the star of the sequel to that Guyver movie that in the early '90s or whatever.
Yep.
So he's always been casting Hollywood celebrities in his shit.
You ain't wrong.
We just didn't know about it because
Yeah, it was-
no one over here watched it. It was like a Japanese fucking
Yeah.
superhero.
I mean, that's one thing you can pretty much guarantee. Anytime that any new Kojima game, there will be a partnership with a Hollywood actor or big name from Hollywood, mostly actors. Man, when are we gonna hear more about?
Not MacGyver, Guyver. It's like some fucking
MacGyver.
budget action.
That's
movie,
very
sci-fi
different.
movie or whatever.
Wait,
Wait,
Nolan,
hold on. Don't ban them. I want to see.
them. I want to see them naked.
You're gonna get a fucking.
Pocop, how could you?
they use the peach emoji.
Guyver, Dark Hero.
All right, are we ready? I'm ready to record when y'all are.
Hold on. Let me do a
Starring-
sound test on my side real quick.
Yep.
David Hayter.
I'm deafening real quick.
Directed by Steve Wang.
Wang.
Did Steve Wayne go on to do anything else?
He was the dude. He did creature effects on Predator. I think that's the dude who invented the mesh. Is it the dude?
Okay, then.
He's the reason predators wear mesh.
What's up, chat? Where are my lurkers at?
You never knew about Guyver? Well, that's because who the fuck watched Guyver? But Hideo Kojima did, and he's like, "Oh, I love Hollywood.
I
want
actually knew
that guy to
several
voice Solid
people.
Snake."
I knew several people in high school who were like obsessed with Guyver.
You got to be thinking of MacGyver.
No, I'm Guyver. The
Were they Kamen
Weird.
Rider fans? Like these were.
beats the shit out of me.
It's like that sort of like what do they call that stuff? Power Rangers, you know.
Yeah. I mean, I know what you're talking about.
Tri-tie shit.
Chai type. Mm.
Sentai, not Chai-tai. Super Sentai.
Sentai, not hentai.
Did somebody say hentai?
You did?
What's up, World Teller? Brad Skate for Life, Gleeger, the Orcadian.
Gleeger, what the fuck?
Persuade?
Gleeger? Where did you
Gleeger?
get Gleeger from?
Wait, what is it? What did I
Well,
say?
I mean, why Gleeger though? Why do you read that as Gleeger? I'm just trying to understand your approach to the English language.
I forgot who the other person is that I always mispronounce.
World
And then
Tealer?
No. Who's the other person I always mispronounce? I got called out
Braid
for.
Scat for Life?
Yeah,
I'm sorry,
That's
what?
an-
that's fucked up.
Zlate. Zlate. Theo Arcadian. What's up, Theo? Theo Arcadian.
Revixie. I
Orca
used to
doesn't
call him
like when you
Revix,
call
and
him
then
Theo.
everybody told me to stop calling him Revix. Now I call him Revixie. Now I feel like I'm
Scalaire.
doing the opposite.
Theo Arcadian.
Orca really doesn't like it when you call him Theo.
Skylaire.
What's up, Skylar? You brought footage of 10 Bells, right?
I did.
Yep.
Why?
Fucking nerd.
What do you mean, fucking nerd? This is what you're telling me? I'm a fucking nerd.
That's right. I said it. I fucking
Why
said it.
You didn't want to bring footage?
I literally beat the game in the footage. It's not, it's not. Well, no, I beat the game while recording the footage. I did stop the footage, but then I sat there and finished the game. I was on
Do
a
I
good
need
run.
to?
Wait, I thought
Okay.
you wanted to talk about this game.
Yeah.
Yeah, he does.
No, I know. I'm sure you looked up a screenshot and you're like, ooh, horror game.
I did. That's exactly what
But it's-
happened.
But when we see what kind of game it is, you'll realize that the footage. Well, you'll see.
All right, we'll get there. All right, are we ready to record?
I'm ready.
All right, I'm recording.
I am recording.
I am recording.
I am recording.
All right, then roll call starts now. Brad,
Hello.
Nolan,
Hey, this is Nolan, and I am doing my roll call for the podcast.
Chris Davis.
Hello, I am Chris, and I am doing a sound test for the podcast.
Yo, I figured it out, Nick. Oh wait,
What?
we haven't started.
Wait, I mean,
You wanted some indie horror in there. You know.
do I?
be like-
Did I? Did I? Is that what I said?
You're like,
I
this
wanted-
is the fucking peanuts they've been feeding us for the past 10 years. Now the real boys back in these little indies inspired by Silent Hill can sit down these pathetic
Look, bitch.
Carlos games.
Look,
You know,
bitch.
the real shit's here. We score 88s, not 77s.
Look, bitch. Welcome to the show. Everybody, welcome to the show. This is
Oh,
4Player
think
Podcast,
about
episode
the-
812. Hold on.
Think about it, Nick. Think about it, Nick. These struggling indies, real creators were inspired by Silent Hill, have been making indies for years and years because they love Silent Hill so much. They're like, oh, I'm going to do my homage. It's going to have this cool twist. And boom, 77. Boom, 77. They can't score above a 77. Then this fucking remake comes along. It's Bloober, who also, by the way, has been shipping 77s since, you know, also loves Silent Hill. They're like, fuck it, we'll just remake the real deal because this is the only way we're going to get an 88, and boom. Boom.
Are you done?
Honestly,
Are you good? Are you done?
Yeah,
Oh my god. We're going to talk a lot about that tonight. But the reason I wanted you to bring footage of 10 Bells, Brad, which you're going to talk about later on the show, is not for that reason. It's because I didn't want to be the only one with a game to talk about tonight.
Yeah, but that's only because you're not taking my UFO minutes seriously.
No, that's definitely not true. I just didn't put it in the thing. Look. Sorry, this show is off to a rambling start, guys.
By the way, I've been calling it
I
the
hate
UFO 50 minute because
So
I'm
you
going to
can
talk
take 50
for
minutes
about
talking
UFO
about it?
50 for 50 minutes.
Every episode.
Yeah.
We'll just devote the entire second segment to UFO 50.
We'll be able to walk away from the
welcome to
show.
the podcast, guys. It's a great week for video games. Great week for Nick, I hear. We're going to hear all about it. It's very exciting. Anybody see any good movies? Any good movies? Halloween?
I watched the movie Trick or Treat for the first time. I've never seen that movie.
Weird that you have not seen that yet. I'm sure that's been recommended to you for years.
Yeah,
Adam Wingard?
and I finally
Halloween
did.
campy movie.
It's
Like
pretty
it?
good. It's cool. I think the thing that stopped me from watching that movie for years, not really stopped me, but I just kind of like, I'll pick something else, is because when you read like the synopsis of it, it makes it sound like it's like 4 separate it's a series of short films, but it's really one film with 4 stories interwoven together, which I thought was really cool.
Like a horror anthology. That's pretty common.
Yeah, but it's a horror anthology where everything is happening in the same space, which I think is,
but you know,
which is kind of cool.
Also not uncommon, but it's a good one. It's a good one of those.
The point is, I watched it and I liked it. You asked if I watched any good movies.
I watched a random episode of X-Files and rewatched It Follows. That was the only thing remotely Halloweeny that I watched.
How did It Follows hold up for you years later?
Oh, it holds up well. That's a
you know they're making a sequel, right?
in my opinion. I mean, people say a lot of things. Who knows?
No, I mean like that's pretty much confirmed, and I think they may have already even filmed it.
Nothing's confirmed until I see a trailer. Basically,
That's fair.
Even then, you know, these days, show me the trailer on that dude's IMDb. He's like working on something else that's coming out next year. So who knows about this?
I had a chance. I had a chance to go see The Substance, and I was going to. I was invited to go see The Substance by a dear friend. He was like, "Hey, you want to go see The Substance tonight at 10:50?" And I was like, "10:50?" It's like it's a 2+ hour movie.
Look at
2.5 hour plus movie, and I was like,
little bitch. I was speaking
Can't do
with
it.
some women earlier this week.
"Why'd you say it like
We were
that?"
talking about the use of the word bitch, and you know how it's like inherently a little misogynistic, but if used a certain way, like little bitch, I feel like it still has that like misogyny. You know, I'm using it as an insult, and that's that's kind of inherently misogynistic. Also, there's like, but there's the toxic masculinity angle, right? Like me calling you a little bitch is mostly just saying like you're not a tough man or whatever, right? So I don't know. I think the conclusion we came to is the only way it like you filter out 100% of the misogyny is if you say like son of a bitch, like a curse to yourself. You know, you're not directing it at anybody. Fair. You know, it's got to follow son of a.
How did we get onto this track? Did I call somebody?
I called you a little bitch.
Oh, you called
you
me a little bitch. You didn't want to
go see a movie at 10:50.
Dude, I'm old, man.
Bitch, you have children, man. I missed so much going to see movies.
Dude,
especially late ones.
I will go see movies up until about 10 o'clock. If they start about 10 o'clock, I'm down.
Where you gotta be?
Also,
Go watch your movie.
To be fair, Brad, I don't feel like I need to defend myself on this public platform, but I will. I went to dinner with some friends 2 hours prior to that, and I was drinking beers.
The early bird special.
I was drinking beers. Yes. Yeah. I went to Cracker Barrel and had some. Yeah. No, I'm just kidding. That's not where I went. But I was drinking beers and I was sleepy, and I was like, I'm not gonna make it.
You didn't have coffee with your pie?
I didn't. No, I did not.
Like,
what the fuck are we doing? Where are we? Oh God.
You were gonna talk about video games, or like I don't know.
That is what we're here to do.
Anybody try that Oreo Coke Zero or those Coke flavored Oreos?
Nope. Coke flavored
It's like a
Oreos?
crossover collab. Yeah.
Okay, I didn't know about the Coke flavored Oreos. No.
The Coke flavored Oreos were pretty, like, I would not eat more than one of those. It's not like oh, I gotta spit it out, but like it was a lot. It was very like pungent, and I could not eat more than one of those.
King Carey says Coke flavored Oreo tastes like Vicks Vapor Rub.
It's a little dicey. The soda though is fine. I mean, it's a sweet, fake sugar.
Wait, so you're saying there's an Oreo flavored Coke now to go with it?
It is a crossover event.
Well, the thing is that it's specifically a Coke Zero, not a regular Coke.
Yeah. Well, I mean, a Coke Zero is what I drink, honestly, but it's fine. It's fine.
We started during trailer talk tonight. We just randomly started talking about lame crossovers.
Really?
Well, again, maybe I threw the word lame in there. I seem to be in the minority here. We were talking about the Call of Duty 6 crossover with Smile 2, which I thought was. No. Here's what I think it comes down to. I'm just so sick of seeing inkling like a hint of something and being like, ooh, what's this? And then finding out that it's a crossover event for Dead by Daylight. Yeah. You know what I mean? Which happens at least 4 or 5 times a year.
I think Soma Cruz is in Dead by Daylight now, which is crazy.
You know what? I am thinking.
I don't know if he's a survivor or, I guess he's a survivor, which is absurd, but whatever.
I am thinking about putting Mortal Kombat 11 back in just so I can play as Ghostface. Yeah. I'm here for it.
Ghostface is in it.
You played it to begin with?
Ghostface, yeah.
I mean, I'm a stand for anything Scream related, so yeah, I will definitely play some Ghostface in Mortal Kombat.
Somebody at
What?
Maybe I shouldn't say.
Oh God!
I was like, somebody said something about Freddie Prinze Jr. and I was like, yeah, Freddie Prinze Jr. We like Freddie Prinze Jr. And he was like, actually, and I'm like, wait a minute, him and Sarah Michelle?
Yeah, he's married to Sarah Michelle Gellar.
Yeah, I know, but I'm like, what's wrong with them? And he's like, I don't know, read something, and I'm like, oh man, Nick can never find out. But here I am telling you.
No,
what is going on?
You're not telling me anything.
I think they're registered Republicans.
Okay, well, okay.
What are you gonna do?
What are you gonna do? What the fuck are you gonna do? They don't talk about it openly, so at least there's that.
Okay. I don't know. I didn't really dig in. Maybe he was just running his mouth.
There's a lot of people who are probably registered Republicans prior to He Who Shall Not Be Named and are deeply ashamed of it.
I did like 2 seconds of Googling and it might have been actually
you know what you may have been looking at? The actress who played Buffy the Vampire Slayer in like the movie from the 80s. Oh, she's like a fucking Kevin Sorbo level, like.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
So basically everything related to Buffy, huh? Because isn't David Boreanaz also?
Dude, I don't fucking know and I don't care. Like they don't.
Oh no!
You're thinking of Dean Cain.
Dean Cain is yeah. We're getting into. Welcome to Hollywood gossip.
The only
everybody.
good Buffy is a dead Buffy. I like to say.
She did die in the show.
Like, okay.
Spoilers.
Well, no one's really dead, right?
Also, that's from 20 years ago. Anyways, guys? Video games. We are, as we mentioned, we are going to revisit UFO 50 tonight. Nolan, did you pick 2 games as well to talk about from UFO 50?
No, I'm not talking about UFO 50. The only UFO 50 game I played is House Party. I gold carded it, and I was trying to cherry card it.
Wait, you're asking him
the red
about
card.
UFO 50?
No, I'm
You
just
can't
saying.
just casually bring up UFO 50. I got footage.
Okay, well, no. Well,
He was asking if I was going to
He's
talk about
introducing
it,
the
and what I
show.
was-
This is the
And I'm
longest and lamest introduction ever. But
there's been worse.
You know what
I
it
was
is? It's because
essentially
my
saying that-
earbuds in the wrong ear. There we go.
Brad, you make it very
Your
difficult
earbuds in the
sometimes.
wrong head.
Sorry, Nolan, continue.
I was just saying that no, I do not have a whole lot more to talk about UFO 50 this week because I've only played House Party.
Did you
I
get the
did
cherry?
gold card it. I didn't get the cherry yet. My longest streak I think is 3.
It's crazy. It's a tough one.
Yeah, no, it is.
But you said you've been playing some more Zelda, though, right?
Yes,
some
I've been
Echoes-
playing Zelda, and I do have some things I want to talk about that tonight.
I am about 2.5 to 3 hours into Echoes of Wisdom, but I feel like I'm still very much in the like. I don't like. It's still like.
Let me ask you, where are you?
I'm just still kind of like running around the. I haven't even gotten to the first dungeon. I'm in like
you're
the
not
open.
2.5 to 3 hours. This is
I mean,
classic.
I played it.
Nicholas.
I played it. I only say that because I played it for 2 of my lunch breaks, which is about an hour each. I'm guesstimating.
But
here,
you were
man.
probably like looking at your phone and putting it down and taking bites. The first dungeon is like the intro to the game, right? I mean, right?
Yeah,
It's like not even a real dungeon, unless
Which
you're
is
talking about the
why-
Gerudo dungeon.
Which is
in the
why I'm
desert.
sitting here telling you that I don't have much to say about it yet, but I am
you don't,
enjoying it so far. Like I've gotten enough. Like I've gotten like a taste, like enough of a taste of like how puzzles are kind of designed around various powers and stuff. And I think that's just pretty
You'll
cool.
get there. Let me ask you: you are gonna play this game, finish it,
Yeah.
whatever?
Yeah, I mean
Okay.
that's my plan. Are you asking me or Nolan?
No, I know. I mean, look, I'm asking you because Mario Wonder, I remember you picked up, but you like kind of barely touched it. And
Yeah, and then if memory serves, recently I told you that I started playing some Super Mario Wonder, and you called me out once again
because
for
it was
doing that instead of
2024. You were looking for like a playing game, and I'm like, come on, dog. If you didn't play this shit at release when the hype was the highest, you ain't gotta play this shit now. It just didn't seem like your bag back then.
I needed something, but now I have Zelda, so it is what it is. But you know what, guys? Tonight we have plenty to talk about. There's been some interesting news, which I'm going to use as kind of a segue into the first 2 games we're going to talk about tonight. Those being Silent Hill 2 and Metaphor Refantazio, which I know, Brad, you don't want to get too deep into tonight because so far the only game that we've actually played at this point is the demo or the
I haven't
prologue
even gotten to
chapter.
combat. Did you get to combat?
Oh yeah. I've done about 3.5 hours of the demo, and I haven't finished.
So
the demo yet.
I don't have much to say, but the game is.
I figured we could at least bring it up tonight because we're going to talk about the reviews a little bit, and then I figured we just get like some of the early shit out of the way. That way we don't have we can just kind of get right to the meat of the conversation later when we've actually played the game. But yeah, I mean, it's been kind of an interesting week news-wise. It is October, it's Halloween season, and it also is the 10th anniversary of the release of Alien Isolation, which is a game that I love deeply. And I was kind of at peace with the idea that it was probably never going to get a follow-up. And Creative Assembly this week just kind of came out on the 10th anniversary and was like, by the way, we are in early development of Alien Isolation 2, which is
who owns Creative Assembly now?
Sega.
Yeah,
I thought they got rid of them.
No.
No.
I don't think so.
They definitely purged some of their.
But they definitely pivoted after they did Alien Isolation. They pivoted back to the style of games that they're where they made a name for themselves.
Yeah.
With and I was
Remember
like I
Spartan
love
Total Warrior.
Oh yeah, that was Creative Assembly.
Yeah, that was Creative Assembly.
Wow, man, when they
Action
weave
game spinoff.
they weave into like really interesting random things. which I like.
Viking, remember Viking? It was cool. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
I own that game.
Sure,
too.
it's like $3 in any
can't-
bargain bin.
You do this shit a lot, and you do it too, Nick. Where it's like, well, fucking y'all, this game that I played was dope, and then you're like, well, I own it, and I'm like, well, I do too, and I played it. So who gives a shit that you own it?
Yeah, we should probably just only say that out loud when we've actually played it.
I mean,
I'm gonna
why?
continue to
You
do
can
it.
say that if it's like some like cool, exciting, rare game. Like, oh man, you actually own that. Like,
I don't own cool
like
and
for
exciting
you to be
rare
able to
games.
say you own something and have it still be impressive when you haven't actually played it, because the fact that you own something and haven't played it has like inherent like sadness to it. Like, well, who? I mean, that's sad that you actually haven't played it when you
And
own
I
it.
have a
So it has to be.
a deep,
has to be
deep
something-
well of sadness. Then
It has to be something like that is like impressive to own for you
Can
to
I
say,
say that
I
about-
own that.
Can I say that about Pokemon Emerald?
Well, you've also played that, right?
Well, I have, but I'm just saying that game goes for like $250.
No, the
And
way Chris
also-
Davis and Nick throw it around, it's like
That's
it's like I own it, but also haven't played it. Which
I
is
own
guilty.
Jericho.
Guilty as charged. I've played Jericho. Guilty as
he's-
charged,
he's
though.
like, yeah,
I mean,
I own multiple
ironically,
copies of Jericho.
ironically, I don't own Jericho, but I've played it. Anyways, neither.
Yeah,
here
like
nor there.
Pocop saying I own Rule of Rose. That's impressive
That
because
is
that's
impressive.
like he's like 1,000-aire now.
You know,
Or
that's what I
something.
think about
It's
Rule
worth
of
a
Rose.
lot, I think.
I owned Rule of Rose. I think before it was rare, and then I sold it, and now I'm like, because when I got rid of it, it was not worth much of anything. Anyways, yeah. So I mean, I just wanted to bring Alien Isolation up kind of at the top of the show, which kind of got me thinking this week. There's a lot of horror games that I'm kind of like interested in playing / revisiting in October. I'm thinking about, and I don't stream a lot anymore. But I think I might do like a, like a long, day-long horror stream, because I feel like that's the only way I'm going to get to a bunch of this shit. Like I want to play Outlast Trials.
Should we pencil you in for this Saturday or what?
I was thinking actually about that, but I'm not going to commit to anything just yet.
It's October 8th already, Nick.
I know, dude. This would be like the third Halloween that I've like dabbled in but haven't finished. In Sound Mind. I've had that game and I love that game, and I play it every year. Like, this is the year I'm gonna finish In Sound Mind. Never fucking happens. So maybe I'll do that. But I want to play Hollow Body. There's just a bunch of shit. There's just a bunch of shit. There's probably a whole slew of great indie games out there waiting to be tried as well. So.
Bunch of
Some
77s.
of them even have one people
Just-
playing them.
Yep, that's probably also true. No one. But yeah, I mean, yeah, you're probably right, Brad. Playing a bunch of 77s. It's not a 77 though.
But
Alien Isolation?
What was the one that you played earlier a month or two ago?
A horror game?
Yeah, he already forgot it. He played a few hours of Silent Hill, and he's always like, these 77s out of my
Dude,
memory.
fuck.
No longer have to pretend these are top 10 worthy.
I'm literally
Doesn't
just
remember.
struggling to think about what you're talking about.
The Horrors of
Conscript?
War? Yeah,
Conscript.
Conscript.
That's a.
Wow. What was that, a 77? Someone look up the
No,
Open
it's an
Critic.
8. I'm pretty sure that's an 80 on Open Critic, but let me
Bullshit. That's like a 77.
it's on Carlos's thing. I've looked at it. He has 10 points for it, unless it went down. But there is not a world which Conscript isn't on my top 10 at the end of the year.
It's a
so fuck off
77
with
on
that.
Open Critic right now.
Is it? Well, it went down.
Yeah, what is Hollow Body?
Wow.
If it's a 77, I swear to God.
Dude, I don't even know if Hollow Body got any fucking reviews.
It's a 75 or 76. Wow.
close enough.
Yeah, it got reviews. People were. hyped about
Listen. The horror genre in both film and video games, it's just like, even like it's so rare that anything. It's like 80% of the games that come out or movies that come out are just gonna like fall flat for most people. But that doesn't mean they're not worth watching or playing. It's just a weird thing. It's a weird thing.
If only one would come along that could fucking prove that horror games were worth it for the common man.
You're just in the mood to bully people. Today,
I'm trying
aren't
to
you, Brad?
transition into him talking about his fucking Silent Hill game.
Look. Yes, I was trying to transition to talk about Silent Hill 2. And let me tell you, I bid on Silent Hill 2 in Fantasy Critic, and it was almost like I'm not going to lie, it was kind of like I'm a big Silent Hill fan, and I would feel bad if I didn't, but I'm not expecting. I was fully prepared for like.
I
0
was calling
points.
you out for having not bid on it because, like, to me, that's like if Nick's not even bidding on this shit. Like,
but you
what's
don't
going on
understand.
here?
You don't understand, and I've said that I've tried to kind of like convey this a lot on social media and in Discord, and I feel like I've kind of like failed. But like, there was no world in which I thought, even if this game was great, that I thought people were going to admit that it was great because it's made by Bloober. It's a remake of one of the best horror games ever made, and people
Well,
just are very cynical about remakes.
But you
And
just
Silent
said
Hill
one of the
and
best
Silent
horror
Hill,
games ever made.
right?
Not just best, but most respected.
But listen, Silent Hill as a franchise has fallen so far. Like Resident Evil, like when they remade Resident Evil 2 and it was great. Resident Evil was still great at that point. It was still like they didn't need Resident Evil 2 remake to save the franchise. You know what I mean? Like people still
but, like,
loved
you're
Resident Evil.
mentioning top tier of like the horror genre. Silent Hill's been like, gone for a long time. So like, and they always had like different teams. They were outsourced, you know,
which they still are doing. They still are doing. In which case in point, Silent Hill 2 remake is Bloober Team, right? But there was no world in which I thought people were going to be open to enjoying Silent Hill 2. I thought like the best case scenario, it was going to get like a 75. Even if it was like an actual like 90, I didn't think people were going to admit it.
People were hostile to it, but it was mostly fans. You also you got to remember Bloober Team was shipping like games that people were not thrilled about, like the Medium, especially. Like
dude, the Medium
was not a well-liked game by critics or players or anybody, and it was specifically the story that was like, my god.
But listen. If you look at the last 3 or 4 games that Bloober Team has done, you got to consider a few things. One, they were shipping games that were made on a much smaller budget. They were lower budget original horror games, and most of them were pretty interesting. And I don't think, if you think about like The Observer and Blair Witch, there's one other that I mean, they did Layers of Fear, obviously.
Layers of Fear 2.
Layers of Fear 2. And everybody always talks about like the one like funny gif or whatever moment from Layers of Fear 2 that is like a meme with the kid running in the hallway and like hitting a wall or something. Like that's all everybody talks about. The Medium was a game that just they tried something and it didn't land. Whatever. That happens all the fucking time. It doesn't mean they're not good at, like, technically speaking, that was maybe one of the most impressive games they've ever done. So like, and you could see a lot of like Silent Hill like kind of like vibes, and you could see like the DNA of Silent Hill kind of in there. It's the story obviously is what led to a lot of backlash because it was kind of mishandled, which made me worried myself. Honestly, I was worried they were really going to kind of like take some liberties with Silent Hill 2 and it wasn't going to work out. I was fully prepared for this to be a huge train wreck. Even if I played it and enjoyed it, I was not ready for the 88 that it has on OpenCritic.
I feel like maybe on like draft night it was like pretty dicey. But like since they started showing off the game properly in recent months,
I know it's been
like,
better reception.
It started to certainly look better.
Yeah,
I mean, my 4-player minute last week was that like, I think everything's gonna be all right.
And I heard you, and I was very happy to hear that because I've just honestly, it's one of those things like I love Silent Hill so much, and I just kind of know what the reaction to it is. So I just kind of like I try to tune a lot of that shit out, and so it was good to hear that people were starting to come around on it. But I didn't think that would translate into critical.
I didn't
reception.
expect this high. I don't think anyone expected this high.
It is.
I thought that like 77 was going to turn into like an 82 instead.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Instead,
like
it is
something this high. This is crazy.
It's sitting at an 88, and it's getting more and more reviews, and it has not gone down. Like, in fact, the percentage of critics who recommend it is just going up with the more reviews that they put in there. It's crazy. So
it's a story game, and like, a couple months ago for Trailer Talk, we watched like a cutscene. It was like him and the little girl, and I'm like, it was good. It was like a good, well done scene, well acted scene.
And then of course you have all the people who see characters like Angela or Marie.
Wow,
they're flipping out because they think they've like censored the game by like making them.
It's woke now. Yeah, but
which is bullshit.
That's never real. And like critics who score a game aren't listening to that, so that was never going to be like a thing. But
so consider me like so I took the day off today, and I've played about 3.5 4 hours, somewhere in there, of the game. And to give people an idea of where I am in the apartment complex, and I'm in the I've crossed over into the other side, right, where everything's all fucked up. So not super far.
Have you seen Pyramid Head yet?
I have encountered Pyramid Head twice. So like there are little details about the original game that like, because obviously I've played this game, played it a long time ago, but there's like little things that stay with me forever, and I'm like, I hope that's just still in there. And there was one moment where you can like kind of, you turn a corner in a hallway, it's super dark, and there's like a barrier, but like on the other side of the barrier, a gate, and you can see Pyramid Head just kind of like standing there, just barely visible in the darkness.
They do that shit well. They do that scene just.
They do that shit
not
well.
Not a cutscene. He's just standing there.
Standing there, and but the moments, like I've seen enough of the moments that are like where they're cutscenes and they've been recreated, or scenes that have been like recontextualized, and it very much is that Resident Evil 2 remake kind of like playing with your expectations. Like the scene where you first encounter Pyramid Head in the apartment room, where he's like
fucking
messing
the
with
legs,
fucking the legs, whatever. It kind of comes out of nowhere. Like in the original game, you like walk into a door, and then a cutscene starts. In this one, you like walk into a room and you're exploring it for a second, and then you hear a noise and you come around a corner and it's like boom, and you're like, what the fuck?
The cutscene, or it's in game?
I mean, it starts in game, but the first moment you actually see him is in game, and then it switches to a cutscene. But like, it happened in a room with a very different layout. So like, I didn't recognize the room when I walked in. I thought it would be one of those moments where it's like, oh, I know what's going to happen here because I recognize the room. Did not recognize the room at all. So they play with expectation a lot that way. And over the years, I've talked a lot about how I really enjoyed Silent Hill Downpour, which I know is a kind of a controversial opinion, but what I loved about that game was how much freedom they kind of give you to like run around the streets of Silent Hill and find shit, like find environmental storytelling, find side quests and shit that you wouldn't otherwise find, that aren't required. And like, from the beginning, I was kind of like, how guided is this remake going to be? How true to the original is it going to be? Because the original is kind of like, it feels open at first. It kind of leads you around. It lets you kind of like roam the streets or whatever. And like the only openness about it is you kind of have to like look at your map and figure out, okay, I need to go to this place, and here it is on the map. So I'm going to run through the streets from point A to point B. In this game, there are so many distractions just in the town of Silent Hill. Like, there are alleyways, there are buildings with interiors to explore and stuff to find in them. You can walk up to if you find like a store that doesn't have like a shutter behind it, you can like smash the glass and jump into the building and find shit. And they start to like trickle out like hints at characters that if you've played the original, you kind of know what they're talking about. But I was like, I don't remember this from the original. So they're definitely like, they're leaving new breadcrumbs and stuff. And that shit's been really great so far. But like the thing that surprises me the most about this, combat in this game is fucking fun. I have never said that about a Silent Hill game. I never thought I would say it about a Silent Hill game ever.
Fun? I don't think it's ever been said period about a Silent Hill game.
It is. I am loving
I feel like
the combat.
You're not supposed to be feeling fun playing a Silent Hill game.
No, listen. I'm just saying, because the controls, the camera, they're not fighting you. It feels like playing Resident Evil 2 Remake, like with the camera over your shoulder, the way and it has like so many like modern like quality of life things that just make it so much less like a chore to like move around the world. You can tap R1, do a quick turn and run. You have a dodge. And let me tell you,
it's giving Condemned Criminal Origins.
I would go as far as to say that. And the combat is more, I feel like, is more prevalent in this game. Like, there are way more enemies, but they're
so funny.
They're strung out. They're strung out.
That combat trailer.
No. I was mad because people were like using that as a litmus test for the whole project, because I was like, at the end of the day, if the combat sucks, it doesn't fucking matter because it's Silent Hill 2. Like the combat has always sucked in Silent Hill. Of course, I want it to be good, but like watching a combat trailer for Silent Hill and then deciding the whole project sucks because you think the combat looks lame is kind of counterintuitive. Like, it's all the other shit that matters, dude.
And like it's good.
And they do shit like you walk into a room, and then like you clear it out, you kind of explore a little bit, you can double back, and then like you'll be walking, and like one of those like the monsters, like the pair of legs, will just be kind of like standing upright against a corner or like against a wall, like blending in with the wall.
Oh, that's cool.
And it wasn't there before.
Is this game scary?
Dude, I mean, yeah.
No.
I mean, it's scary. It's as scary as any Silent Hill has ever been. It's definitely
Silent Hills.
Yes, it's
used
spooky.
to be scary.
It's fucking spooky, and the use of the audio design and the fucking soundtrack in this game is fucking phenomenal. It's yeah. I don't know what else to say about that. It's just so fucking. There are moments where it's just quiet. Today it was like quiet. There's like no sound effects. I'm like walking in this like really dark, like almost like a fire escape, and I walk past a door that I check, it's locked, and as soon as I walk away from it, like someone like boom, 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 like pounds on the door and just made me jump out of my fucking skin. Like, and the puzzles have been completely redesigned.
What are drops? I mean, what do you, are you getting something from killing these things? You getting ammo drops? What's the?
I mean, a lot of it is because it's Silent Hill. You do a lot of backtracking. So, I mean, in this case, like if you're watching the footage, there is an item that you need to progress that's in the swimming pool. And this was in the original. It's in the swimming pool. It's in like a baby stroller, and but there's like 4 enemies in the pool. So for me, I was like, well, I got to go in there, and I'm not gonna go in there and not get hit. So I was trying to like pick them off and lead them out. But like they kind of need you to do that. But again, using a gun in this game feels nice, but it's got like a nice kind of like because all the enemies have like really unpredictable movement, and your gun is kind of swaying because he's not super confident. But like when you shoot something and it lands, it feels fucking good. You can take out their kneecaps and make them fall to the ground, but the best thing is the fucking melee, man. When you come up to an enemy and you hit it with like the piece of wood with the nails in it, combat is so fucking intense, man.
What difficulty are you playing on?
I'm playing on normal, man. But like if you ever encounter more than one enemy at a time, it is challenging, and you got to be on point with the dodge button because they're coming at you from different sides, and they
dodges at a lot.
Spit at you.
I'm watching the footage now.
Yeah, I mean the dodging really, really helps, and enemies pack a punch. So it's all in all, it's just like enemies.
I'm excited because my take on horror games, and the truth is what we've been putting up with for the past however much with all these fucking indie games is walking sims, sneak 'em up, blocker hiders. I can't deal with that shit. I need some combat in my horror game. I'm here for it.
They have. I mean, I would have to go back and play the original again right now to kind of like really compare. But I feel like they have ratcheted up the enemy count and like the encounters in this game dramatically. But
it doesn't push to your limits with ammo. Can your melee break?
Dude, I had 25 bullets today, and I walked into a room and got spooked by an enemy, and suddenly I had 4 bullets left.
That sounds like a skill issue.
No. I mean, well, maybe, but like this was more of a just like it made me jump out of my skin, and there were like 2 enemies in the room at once. So like trying to like manage multiple enemies at once can be a challenge.
That whole that's very modern Resident Evil, right? Kind of lining up the headshot on your little wavy tube enemies.
Yeah.
I'm here for it. That's good. I mean, look, I thought Bloomers never made combat in a game before.
Oh,
they've made those kinds of games I was talking about that I don't like. So the fact that like it's actually pretty good is kind of maybe the biggest surprise for me because
absolutely
they're just that's not them. And like when like a Mercury Steam is working on a Metroid game or some shit, and Nintendo has their hands in it to make sure things don't go awry, right? Same thing with like the Zelda game we're playing, right? That's like a studio that usually remakes games, but Nintendo's gonna make sure that Zelda game ain't shit, right? But this is Konami published.
But a lot of the core creatives from the original team are.
It really was a toss-up.
It was a toss-up, but like a lot of there's maybe not a lot, but there are a handful of original core team members from the original team that made Silent Hill 2 that have been kind of overseeing this project. Akira Yamaoka has been very hands-on with the project as well, remixing and making a lot of new music and that sound design, and it's fantastic. So like there's a certain amount, like you can tell playing this game that like they knew what was at stake here, and they couldn't fuck this up.
But remember when Ninja Theory made DMC and they brought in like combat designers to make sure, like, look, dog, Heavenly Sword kind of sucked to play. Like, no one did this with the combat in this game, so I'm saying I'm glad that it came out okay.
I mean, I think it's also because we live in a post Resident Evil 2 remake world, and
you mean
what?
Post Alone in the Dark world? They were the kind of cream of the crop when it comes to horror game combat, right? Earlier this year, Alone in the Dark.
If you'd like to find out, Brett, you just got to send me that Steam family invite.
Oh, that's true. I could do that right now. I keep forgetting.
But you know, I think if anybody was kind of going into this kind of on the fence, and I think a lot of people were, it really all kind of came down to was Bloober going to be able to stick the landing? Were they going to be true? Were they going to be able to be true to the original, but also give it its own identity? And I think they fucking nailed it. Now I'm not sitting here saying that I think they should be given the keys to the kingdom and like let them make a new original Silent Hill game. Not necessarily.
But that's already happening though.
But like not Bloober
a million Silent Hill games now.
Right, but and this is why I brought this up in Discord, because my question was, and I feel like I was kind of shot down about this because I know we don't know anything about those other projects at this point, but like you can tell this was the tentpole of their push to revive Silent Hill. They put everything into this fucking game, and it worked. So, what is the bar now for the next? We know Silent Hill Townfall, which is like a Telltale style game, and we know Silent Hill F, which is that kind of like oh my god, help me out here. It's like feudal Japan, or maybe not feudal Japan, but it's like
1980s Japan with.
Is it 1980s? Yeah. So it's very, very different.
That's
vibes,
very
right?
different. 1980s and feudal.
Which is why I was struggling with the words. But the point is,
and don't forget about the short message.
And look at the short message.
That already came out.
You're right, but the short message came out before this, and Ascension came out, and both of those were bad, man. They were bad. So like, this is amazing. This is straight up amazing. I can't believe this exists.
How do you think this is gonna do? How do you think this is gonna do? Is this going to be like a Dead Space remake situation where like everyone loves it, gets crazy awesome reviews, but it doesn't sell quite enough, and then all of a sudden that Dead Space 2 remake ain't happening?
All I can say is I hope their expectations are tempered, because they've got to know going into this that Silent Hill hasn't had the best reputation. Konami hasn't had the best reputation, so they can't go into this expecting like 10 million sales. Like the fucking whole, you told me this week, Silent Hill is the
whole series is a 10 million. Yeah.
So like they've got to know all that going in. So like their expectations hopefully are realistic, and
it's been in development for a long time though.
Right. But like I just keep coming back to like, just because this is amazing, I don't necessarily think I have a lot of faith in those next two projects, because the Silent Hill F team, like it's one of those situations where like I think prior to this project they've only ever worked on like mobile gacha games and shit, and now they're making a AAA Silent Hill game. But it's also, now that's kind of giving me like Stellar Blade energy. Like maybe who the fuck? Maybe it will be amazing. I don't know. But
whoa, Bloober Team's over 250 people.
Yeah, I mean they're a big team.
I didn't know they were so big.
I mean, they've been growing steadily, and honestly, when they got this project, they probably like doubled in size.
Yeah.
I mean, they're putting out a project every 12 to 18 months at this point.
But this is obviously the biggest project they've ever done. So I don't know, man. But like, at the end of the day, like this exists because Silent Hill 2 exists, and really, they did a really good job adapting it, and then they had people keeping them on track to make sure they didn't fuck with the narrative and like the things that people truly care about. And I hear all that stuff is really well done. From what I've seen so far, it appears to be really well done. The voice acting is excellent, and the acting is excellent. So like.
Easy. You don't want to piss off the other Silent Hill fans.
I don't give a shit.
They were acting a certain way. They were trying to achieve a certain tone. it was that way on purpose.
But like, yeah, I mean, it definitely achieves a tone and a vibe. Like, this game has immaculate vibes. I mean, I haven't felt vibes like this since I played. I mean, probably since I played Silent Hill 4, because that was the last Team Silent Hill game.
Alone in the Dark. Did you play Alone in the Dark, or was that
No.
just Chris Davis?
That was just Chris Davis. But add it to my list of games that I might try out during my little Halloween stream. I don't know.
I might have to play that because this is the first game this year that GameFly did not ship to me at launch, and I'm so pissed off because it's October, and I really want to play a horror game that isn't some Carlos bullshit. And GameFly decides, I don't know if we have enough copies for you, bitch. But maybe that's a sign that people really want to play it. I don't know. It's been on my wish list all year.
Really, real quick, just to kind of address a couple things in chat. DJ Micah says it's not the original voice actors, right? And that is correct. They are new voice actors, but they're really good. I mean, in my personal opinion, they are really fucking good. And the kind of like just the directing in all the scenes that I've seen so far has been really well done.
It's so woke though. They had to cast an actor with an actual dead wife, of course, because they couldn't have a fake dead wife.
Is that true?
I know. Real quick, Chris Davis, your name on Steam is Edis?
No,
Edis?
that's Ed.
That's the last spot for our family goes to Edisi. How do you say?
This is entirely up to you. This is more me allowing you access to my games than me wanting access to yours.
Whoa. Easy,
damn.
buddy. What the fuck does that mean? I was about to click your fucking name. You don't want to play anything in my library? You think I got some
I haven't looked at your
scrub-ass library?
Chris Davis, for someone who's consistently talking about how much money they don't have right now because they're building a house, you should be all over this.
I mean, or I could just be like what I've been doing recently and either playing 20-year-old games that I've played several times before, or just not playing any games.
But
that's fine. Just don't drag my Steam library. What the hell?
You're a weird one, Chris Davis. Anyways,
fine. You are. I can invite you as a child. Does that mean you can't play any mature games in the family? That's so funny.
That's probably the case. Yeah.
Look,
you're invited.
Silent Hill 2 remake. It's a fucking miracle. It's a fucking miracle. That's all I'm gonna say. Everybody should play it.
It's a miracle that Bloober didn't fuck this up and they did as good as they did. Because that was the big concern. It wasn't that everyone thought that Silent Hill couldn't be good. Everyone was just worried about Bloober and modern day Konami.
Look! If you're watching the footage here, they do the thing that Resident Evil 2 started doing, right? Where all the doors like swing in and out, right? So they're just like push doors. So like you go into a door and like there's no loading screen in between rooms, so like you push into a room and you can see an enemy there and you go, oh fuck, and you like back out of the room to try and get some space between them, and then you're just like waiting outside the door hoping that they come out, but they never fucking do. So then you gotta like build up the courage to go running in.
Fucking building going both ways is insane to me.
It is, but
like a modern building.
It is. It's insane. It's purely video games. But Resident Evil 2 started doing it, and it's been that way ever since. But it makes going in and out of doors really easy. It makes it seamless going in and out of doors. But yeah, this is pretty miraculous. Anyways, I'll talk more about it once I finish it. So let's move on. And for the sake of not jumping straight into another game that I've played, and I know Brad has not played a ton of, why don't we go ahead and talk about UFO 50 now?
Oh, look at you! This is like it feels like a pity.
My gift to y'all.
Shut the fuck up. I mean, it's the hottest game of the year, which you now have access to, Chris Davis, because I have it in my Steam library, my pathetic Steam library.
Thank you, most kind.
Yeah, the UFO 50 minute. I got 2 more games to discuss because that's, I guess, the best way to talk about UFO 50. What did I bring today? You wonder? Golfaria. I wanted to talk about this one specifically. This is when I finished. I did get
this looks addicting as hell.
You do have to have the I think 100% to get the cherry cart, which I'm getting close. I wanted to show this one especially because not only is it one of my favorites of the collection, this is one of the most like reviled games when people first start playing it.
Reviled.
It is very, and I hated it as well when I first started playing. It is very not newcomer friendly. There's like crazy insane physics. So this is a golf Metroidvania where you're literally hitting a golf ball basically around a map, Metroid style, right? But the thing is, you're when you start the game, you only have 20 strokes, and when all 20 strokes are gone, you die. Right, so you're trying to figure out this world.
I've not gotten very far in this game.
It's insane. It's insane. And what makes it insane is because the physics are crazy because it has like crazy, it's like mini golf topography. It's not like a golf game. There's like crazy elevation everywhere. And you're trying to get across ramps and up slopes. And and you just go flying in different directions. And then you inevitably hit some water somewhere. And of course, you just like when you hit the ball in the water, you lose a stroke and you go back to where you started. So you're just trying to like hit these shots to get around the world and maybe get some upgrades to figure out what's going on. And you're just dying over and over again because you're running out of strokes. And it's kind of infuriating at first. And really, I couldn't stand it at first, but I kind of pushed through because from my experience with UFO 50, everything this happened with a lot of games where like I didn't get it at first, or it was kind of like difficult to like understand the hook of the magic of the game at first. So I knew there had to be something here, and it's a cool idea. I love Metroidvanias, and it's a golf one, right? But I pushed through, and as soon as I started finding some of those stroke upgrades where you get like which is basically like a health increase, which basically means you live longer, right, per checkpoint or whatever. Um, it, and I started to get like actual like Metroid style upgrades. One of the first ones you can get, it is very open ended, is like a break. And let me tell you, it's insane. Before you get the ability to kind of slow your ball down, you're just flying into water, flying down slopes. I mean, you would lose
like
progress.
A break, like you could slow down the ball.
You could slow down the ball, and that's huge. Eventually, you'll be able to like break through bricks. You'll be able to like slide around on water, and it makes the game that combined with like subsequent like stroke upgrades, it's a game that goes from like infuriating to like really addictive and fun. Once you start getting used to the physics, once you start getting those upgrades, it becomes super fun. And it just I realized, as I got further into it and I realized I was hooked, that, there's actual like interesting Metroid style level design here, design around like the power-ups and the unique physics of this game. And it's just extremely well put together. Like a really cool idea for a Metroidvania, executed very well. But it is a rocky start. And that's why when you see like tier lists, because people are inevitably doing like, oh, I'm gonna rank all the UFO 50 games, it's
like
either
the bottom.
It's like either in the bottom tier or like near the top. And those are two types of players that pushed through and players that bounced off very quickly. And I get it. I was one of those at first, but I'm glad I stuck with it because it's one of my faves. It's really, really cool.
All right, who made the dad joke in chat?
What do you say?
Who did it? Who did
Who
it?
can say?
Somebody.
Yeah,
Okay, it was Chris Davis.
Now I don't know if you could like skip ahead to the other footage. It's a little hard to record footage of two different games in one video. I should probably just do two videos from now on. But the other game I have on here is, I remember when I see it. My footage is behind. Can you see what it is, Nolan?
You're driving a car around and teleporting.
Oh, Warp Tank. Oh God, yeah. This footage is also me struggling how to get to the level, like an open level. This is also a not a Metroidvania. It is like it's I don't even know how to describe it. It's just like a action adventure game. You're a tank, and you the core mechanic is like a warping from the ceiling to the ground, or just like to the opposite surface that you're on, right? And am I in a level yet in the footage?
I mean, it looks like you are, but I don't know.
There's like a hub world where you're trying to get to the different levels. If you're seeing like blue shit, I'm probably in that hub world trying to figure out how to get to the next level, because the way you get around is like warping from one surface to the other, kind of figuring out like how to get to where you see where you want to go, but you're like, okay, if I gotta bounce off of here, I gotta move around this edge, and then I got to bounce onto this side, and then I got to move over to this edge, and now I'm kind of where I need to be. It can be really, really tricky navigating the world. And and the level design is completely designed around that concept, and it's so good. It's so weirdly like I thought this was going to be a one-trick pony in terms of like, oh, this is the gimmick for this game. It's going to be a nice little romp, but this is a like lengthy, challenging, like straight up puzzle platformer in ways that continually surprise me. There's a lot of levels in this game, in this world, because the more I play a bunch of it, and then I go back to the thing, and it's like, oh, you're still only 9% through the game, and I'm like, how is that possible? I've been playing so much of this. There's a lot of fucking levels.
This is the longest game of the year. UFO 50.
Oh,
as a whole.
1000%.
For sure. For sure.
1000 fucking percent. And it gets really once you start clearing games, getting gold carts, God forbid cherry carts, it gets really addictive because you start filling up, see that screen of 50 games start filling up with gold carts and stuff, and it's like, ooh. Then you start looking up, what are some easy gold carts, man? Because I want to see some more gold, baby.
Hooked.
What are some easy cherries? I got my first cherry this week as well.
In what?
And yeah, I'm just saying, like I don't know where I am in this footage or how long this is going to go on. I get stuck.
Brad, can you not hear us?
I can hear you.
He asked you what game you got the cherry on.
I don't want.
He asked you like 3 times.
I'm not cranked up so high because I don't want my shit picked up on my mic. Y'all have given me before. Let me turn up a little bit. I got a cherry in camouflage because if you do all the levels and you get all the collectibles in each level, it's a pretty easy cherry. I know I could probably get the party house one, but I haven't attempted it just because I've been trying to like split my time around different things, keeping it fresh. So where I am in the footage, I am completely stumped. And this is what I'm talking about. It seems like a really easy concept to do like a puzzle platformer behind. Well, my options are to shoot and all these games are 2-button games. You can shoot and you can warp from one surface to another. So surely in this single screen like obstacle that can see all of, I should be able to figure this out. It's not like I'm going to get some upgrade and come back here. All I have to do is figure out how to get up to that ledge, and you see it and you're like, I can't figure. I don't even know if I do it in the footage while I'm recording it. That's how much I get stuck. And that's how like clever and insidious Warp Tank actually is, because I get challenged by a lot of these games in terms of like twitch, like the action. Some of these games are just insanely like breakneck speed. You can die really quickly, like fucking Valfaris. Like if you like take a breath in that game, you're dead. It's like go 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 go. This is a game that is like it's a think 'em up, right? Like it may look like an action game, but it really is like, I can't figure this shit out. So I respect it so much that it's just puzzle platformer level design. And when I finally get it, I'm like, oh, I feel like an idiot. But like, that's so smart. That's so fucking smart. The fact that I can stare at a screen and just not see it until I do see it, and then I'm like, holy shit. This game keeps doing that, and it keeps surprising me with that shit. And it's meaty. Like I've been kind of trumpeting for this game, obviously. I've been playing it for like probably 70, 80 hours now, which spread across 50 games doesn't sound that crazy. But this is another one, like absolutely top of the heap, man. It's fucking awesome. It's really good.
Sweet.
And yeah, that's my...
Cool. Well, I like this format. Just keep
Stay
bringing.
tuned to next week. 2 more games, baby.
2 more games. They should really like this. This whole collection is like
this Derek, you guy. He's the one to watch.
They should like study this when you're like in school for like game design. Like this should.
I've never seen anything like it. Like this is one of the most ambitious video game projects I've ever seen.
It's like in like the mid to 2010s. When your mom would go to like a random store and buy you a game console for like $30 that has like 500 like arcade games on it or whatever, but the difference is these are all good.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, yeah.
Good old Cheetah Men.
I don't know if we said it, but like this is kind of like a good version of Action 52, which was an NES game that had like 52 games on the cartridge. They were like all terrible. It was trash. The thing is, they also charged $200 for that. Action 52 was a $200 game MSRP.
Yes,
It was a huge ripoff.
Jesus.
And the final game was Cheetah Man, which was this awful platformer where you played as these different cheetahs. And the final game in this game is owl. It's like your owls, and I think it's an homage to Cheetah Man, but you're owls. It's kind of funny.
Nice.
Cyber
owls.
Which wait till that episode when I talk about that, because that's also an unhinged like idea. You'll just wait.
So over the course of 25 episodes, we will cover all 50 games in UFO 50. Quick, so before Nolan, you've been playing more Zelda. Would you like to talk about your experience there?
Sure.
What's going on
Brad,
with Zelda?
have you played more Zelda? I don't know how far you are.
I have played more Zelda, but I'm not super far. I'm in the Gerudo dungeon.
Okay, so is that the only one of like the game kind of guides you to do two different areas?
It's the one in the desert, of course.
I know where it is. I'm saying, is that the first place you went?
We know what
That's
a
the first
Gerudo
place I
is,
went.
Brad.
Well,
okay, cool.
That's
So, no, the reason I bring it up is because I finished that one and I finished the next one. So I've definitely now surpassed you, but obviously you've been playing UFO 50. But no, I've been playing a decent amount of Zelda Echoes of Wisdom. And it's good. I will echo what Brad brought up last week, that yes, once you actually start getting into the overworld, surprisingly a little bit of lag every once in a while. When you're in dungeons and stuff like that, it's not too bad at all. It's just when you're in the overworld itself.
I haven't played a ton, but I haven't found it. I mean, I've noticed it, but
Nick,
it doesn't,
because the game hasn't opened up yet. Once you finish that first dungeon, it changes. Like it seems like because they limit you off, they probably just don't load in the extra stuff.
Okay.
So
I thought I was in the overworld, but I guess
better.
not technically.
Well, you're in the overworld, but it's a very limited overworld.
Yeah, you're
until you finish that
linear
first dungeon,
part of the game.
Then the entire game opens up, and it opens up to the extent that I did not realize at first. When I had played some last week, we had laughed and joked when we originally saw this game. They're like, oh, if you can just create stuff, you can probably just break it and go wherever you want. Yes.
Yeah,
you can go wherever.
Breath of the Wild style, like everything you see, you can get up there.
The limitation are literally the outsides of the map. That is it. From moment one, you have to unlock some echoes probably, but you can basically start going anywhere. It doesn't matter that there's a giant mountain in your way. There are ways to get up it.
And are we saying this is a good thing or a bad thing?
It's cool. It's cool because
sure.
you can stumble into areas with harder echo enemies, and those will it's like Aria of Sorrow, Dawn of Sorrow. Like everything you kill becomes an echo. Like everything is an echo.
Yeah.
So like when you come across a harder enemy and you're able to take it down, you now have like a much more powerful echo.
So
it's cool stumbling into those.
I had done some probably more exploring than I had probably should have been, and like early on I found some level 2 like moblins before I had done any of the dungeons, before anything, and those have been like super helpful because they're very powerful, and you can find I found a couple of echoes that I can't even use yet because I don't have enough of like the little triangle like resource I can't even use them yet, which is interesting. And so
it's
what
a smart
I will
way
say,
to gate it, I think.
Oh, for sure. It's just to stop you from getting something too overpowered early on. But yeah, and so I will, not necessarily a spoiler, but it's just something that, by the way, when you finish that second dungeon, you don't, because I think after you finish maybe the first one, you get like an extra resource block, which is nice. So you can either create bigger things or create more smaller things, or maybe a big thing and a small thing, because you have more of those little triangle resources. After you beat that second one, you don't get another one. They actually reduce the cost of several of your already obtained echoes.
Oh,
so instead of costing like 4, it now costs 3. I don't know how they choose which ones are which. I'm sure it's set somewhere. But I'm like, oh great, I'm going to get another resource, and maybe I can now start using that echo that I've never had enough for. But nope, I still can't because it didn't give me an extra one.
Can I ask you something? You've done 2 dungeons. Did they feel like fairly distinct, or?
Yes and no. So the reason I'll say that is because they definitely have different themes. The one you're doing now, Brad, in the Gerudo Desert is sand themed, so it has a lot to do with like raising and lowering sand and stuff. And while I will say the next one, which is in the Zora area,
it's raising and lowering water.
It is raising and lowering water. But what I was going to comment on was it was interesting that I don't know if this is the first game that has both the river and the sea Zora. So like the OG Zelda games, the
fish fuckers, well, I guess they're both fish fuckers, but like the old ones were like more creature of the Black Lagoon, fishy.
So the old school Zora, were very creature, like you said, like they were less sleek and like fuckable. And so the way they describe it in this game,
all of them.
Damn, Nolan.
The way they describe it in this game is they're the river and then the sea. And so but yeah, so yes, that dungeon is a little more raising and lowering water, but it's a lot more you're actually going underwater, and you're doing things that are like having to solve puzzles underwater, having to move things, but all of a sudden now you're running out of breath, so you either have to find a bubble spot or find a thing. And there was one, I don't remember where I got it, but there was like a random side quest I did somewhere in the world where my reward was like a scale that lets me breathe underwater for longer. And I'm very glad I got that before going and doing this dungeon, because it was very helpful. It's somewhere in like the Zora area.
See, that's pretty cool.
I think that all the side-scrolling portions are kind of making some of the stuff feels kind of homogenized, because when you get to like the side-scrolling portions, which are common, I feel like it kind of limits. It's just there's ladders, and I mean, I don't know.
When you're underwater, it's a little bit different because the fact that you're not limited by the ladders and stuff. You're just swimming around and solving puzzles and doing things and stuff. But so I've only done those 2. And then I've just kind of done some overworld exploring. I've not gone to like, I know where I'm supposed to go next, but I've not gone there yet. And so kind of going back to some of the complaints we had the other week. And so here's a small pet peeve. I am still playing Pokemon here and there. And one of the games I'm playing right now is BDSP. And so one of the things that game does
Brilliant
is
Diamond, whatever.
Yeah, Brilliant Diamond.
Okay, I was like,
Shining Pearl.
Should I know what this is?
I needed a second.
No, it's
gotcha. Okay,
it's fine. Here's the thing that game does. If you're ever in a text box, whatever, dialogue, talking to someone, progressing the story, you can press A to move along, or you can press B to move along, or you can press the bumper or the trigger. Any button will move along dialogue. But in Zelda, it is just A. If you do not press A, it does not, and it's so frustrating because sometimes, and I understand that you shouldn't be multitasking, blah blah blah, whatever. But I'll be reaching for my drink, or I'll have a text on my phone I want to respond to real quick, and I have to make sure I'm holding the controller in the right way because only the A button will progress dialogue, and it's just like the shoulder buttons don't do anything. Like and it's just like then I go back to this fairly old Pokemon game, and if you're in a dialogue box, you just press the bumper and it will continue on. And I understand it's a pet peeve, but
it sounds like the Pokemon company has kind of made that. Is that what their studio's called? Game Freak. I don't know why I thought it was a Pokemon. Game Freak is like
that is the thing too.
That's probably like a Game Freak thing and not necessarily a Nintendo thing. It probably should be a Nintendo thing. Because
it should be any game. Like, what does it matter? You press a button and dialogue like progresses. Like, why not?
Progressing dialogue, making dialogue progression as accessible as possible is so important. And
I don't know if y'all remember, but I was struggling with it big time in Ayuden Chronicle, 100 Heroes, which is a game I
And
still love.
the other reason I bring that up is, like I said, echoing what Brad had brought up last week. There's a lot of dialogue in this game.
So
there are
much, dude.
cutscenes.
I feel like it's wrong for.
And talk.
I feel like it's wrong. It feels wrong in a 2D Zelda. When I think of A Link to the Past, and even A Link Between Worlds, those are like fucking lean, pure. Like to me, Link to the Past was like one of the first like quote unquote perfect games I played, where it's like, man, there is no cruft here. It's just,
dude. When your uncle dies, it's like 3 lines of dialogue.
Adventuring. I mean, they're like fucking Metroid games, man. It's about the world. It's about the exploration. Nothing is slowing you down. No talky bullshit. But in this game, it's like the quest design is talking to people. So much of it's just talking to people and bringing shit to people. And
I'm assuming,
and like
as
you get into
Brad,
the main story stuff, it's just like yap. I'm like, come on, I just want to explore. It's frustrating.
And I am not one to say that there is not benefit to storytelling, but there are some times in Brad's in the Gerudo Desert, and I don't want to spoil the story there. The what happens there from the time you enter to the time you exit is an interesting story. But to Brad's point, they could probably cut out 3/4 of the dialogue, and the story wouldn't change.
Yeah,
it would still be as good. It would just be less kind of just like
I
dialogue,
feel like that's
just
probably
vomit of just like why.
That's probably like where you're seeing the impact, the influence of like this third-party studio more than anything else, because like the trimmed fat, so to speak, on other Zelda games is like because Nintendo's got that shit.
I mean, Tears of the Kingdom can be pretty talky at times, but there's so much game in that game. There's so much game in between those talky parts that it's like it's dwarfed.
Yeah.
Here, it's like I don't like the way it's weighted. Honestly, it's weird.
Agreed.
It's reminding me of Skyward Sword a little bit, and I thought we left that in the past.
You're not wrong. But yeah, so like I said, overall, I do like where the story's going. I have been enjoying it, even though, like I said, it's just there's more text boxes than there need to be. And I definitely been enjoying the gameplay. I've gotten some fairly unique echoes.
It's exciting getting new echoes, just like in Castlevania, getting new souls. Here, it's ooh, what is it gonna do?
And the fun thing here is similar to the same thing we've seen in every Zelda game. You get an item, an echo, in a dungeon, and that helps you in that dungeon to solve the puzzles, to defeat the boss. And generally, when you get up to the boss, it's like, oh, how do I solve this thing? And it's like, oh, well, you remember that echo you probably got earlier in the dungeon? That will probably be helpful. But the thing is, it's less obvious in this, just because you don't, like, to Brad's point, you're not unlocking an echo in the dungeon. You're probably unlocking 3 or 4 echoes in the dungeon because every enemy can be one, and oftentimes also several objects. Another thing I will say is we talked about it briefly last week, Brad, that you sleep in the beds to regain health, and there's the upgraded bed and stuff. I have found that as soon as you earn a heart, if you leave the bed and re-enter it, you heal so much faster.
Really?
Just FYI, yes. If you just lay in bed and wait for your heart, and it's fine early on, but now that I've unlocked more hearts, and there's been a couple of times where I've taken a bit of damage and I'm low on health, to just lay in bed and completely heal takes a long time versus just literally laying down. As soon as the heart earns, jump up and go right back down. You heal probably twice.
It's like that with the enemy echoes too, where like it's sometimes better just to respawn them because their attack animation will come out quicker than waiting for them to do it.
So often, yes, I will spawn an echo. I'll let them do their attack, and I will immediately respawn them because it's their animation, or they don't always go into an attack. Sometimes they do like a little dance, or they want to do something in between their thing. And so sometimes it is way faster just to despawn and respawn them. Yeah.
I can't decide if I can't decide which one I like more. Novelty in chat says bed strats, which I think is pretty good, but Pocop says power naps. I think it's also pretty funny. Good stuff.
I so desperately want like Brian David Gilbert to do a video about, like, I don't know, the coolest echoes or whatever. He'd find some clever way to make it
something
funny.
Yeah.
Is there a new meta yet beyond just like drowning enemies?
I don't know. I mean, that's definitely a viable strat in this game.
Yeah, there's like
I'm
a
assuming you're
million
referring
things.
to the bond, and then you can move them and just drop them into water and they drown. That's definitely something you can do.
Well, I've
Fucked
heard
up.
you could just carry around a cube of water and then shove that into the enemies and they insta die.
Okay, well,
I've
you're
not
spoiling
tried
a
that.
game. Like you did this last time, where you're spoiling something you're not even playing. This is like Tears of the Kingdom. Like learning a technique doesn't go away in your head, and I don't want to know about things that make something easier.
Okay, sorry. I thought this was
It's like
the meta.
Scribblenauts. It's like as soon as you learn that there's a jetpack, you could just type jetpack into Scribblenauts. You just ruin every puzzle in that game. You don't even have to think about it anymore.
It's like what you're saying with UFO 50 with like the scores for Scribblenauts are either like super high or super low, and that's the difference is whoever figured out the jetpacks thing early on.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's take a quick break. When we come back, I want to talk a little bit about Metaphor Refantazio. We're still really, really early in that, but there's some interesting stuff to discuss there. And then we'll wrap up with the 4-player minutes.
And 10 bells.
10 bells.
And 10 bells. Oh my god, you're right. 10 bells.
That
Holy
won't
shit.
take long.
Okay.
It won't take long.
Well, 10 bells, Metaphor Refantazio. When we come back, if you're listening at home, don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. 812. I will be right back.
It's just look, Chris Davis, I still have bad memories. I'm streaming and I'm finding all this fun way to like mine for ore in Tears of the Kingdom, and fucking Jaeger is like, why don't you just put a cannon on the end of a stick? You know? And I'm like, oh,
What?
okay, thanks. Like you turn my little fun like game where this fun game where I'm trying to come up with all these like crazy fun dangerous ways to mine, and he just tells me like some broken ass way that I can infinitely spawn these cannons, and just throw it on a stick anytime I want, and I just have a cannon on a stick, and now mining is trivialized. And he couldn't take that back, because once you learn a way to make it way easier, there's no reason to fuck around to find cool fun ways to do things. You know what I mean? Like it sucks.
I understand that, and I apologize because I didn't realize. I thought this was a thing everyone was doing.
Well, it's that video that Prince watched, which I will never watch. 15 cool things you didn't know you could do. I do not want to know that stuff.
I understand that,
because the fun is playing around and going, holy shit, I didn't know I could do that. But yeah, water. I guess I have heard that the water thing on podcasts, people are like kind of hyping it up. The water cube or whatever. Mm-hmm. But I don't want to know too much about it.
I mean, I can't tell you anything other than just what I've heard.
BRB.
Yeah. Also, I didn't know about the cannon on the stick thing.
Okay. Did you play Tears of the Kingdom? Oh, you finished it.
About 150 hours. Yeah, I beat it.
Yeah.
Basically
that game is fire.
It was an incredible game. Yeah.
Pretty much everyone agrees except for Nick, weirdly.
I think Nick loves it too. I just think that other things grabbed his attention stronger than Zelda.
Yeah. Dicey. Like Baldur's Gate 3.
I mean, hey, look. 2023
What was his game of the year last year? What was his game of the year? Oh, fucking Star Wars. Okay.
Was it?
Yeah, it was Star Wars. In a year with Baldur's Gate and Tears of the Kingdom, this man picked Star Wars. And this is why I know. Did he even finish Tears of the Kingdom? Did he even finish it? He probably finished.
I'm almost certain he did.
This motherfucker is about to pick up Metaphor Refantazio, which is like 100-hour Persona and he's gonna sit over there going, well, that's nothing compared to me hopping back into Baldur's Gate 3, the most intimidating game ever.
Look up. Thank you for being so diligent tonight.
Yo, what's that shirt? Yo, let me see that shirt. Nolan, what you got there?
You talking to me?
Yeah.
It's a BB-8 shirt.
Oh, okay. I saw planets, and I thought it was like there's some Outer Wild shirt that I've been eyeing. Thought maybe you had it.
Nope. Just
We're back.
boring old BB-8.
Man, fuck that robot.
But that has a spot of you can't even tell, kind of. If I don't point it out, you probably won't be able to tell. But right here, that's actually a spot of bleach from when I was trying to use a bleaching product to kill the smell of all the rat piss from my attic in my old house.
Yo, check this out. I got some toothpaste on my shirt this morning here.
Nice.
Fucked that up.
You got to immediately wash that, Brad. As soon as you got toothpaste, you got to immediately wash it out. Otherwise, it's going to bleach.
I just wore it under something else. It don't matter.
All right.
We're about to talk about it, Novelty.
Yep.
I barely touched it, though. I was really hoping to find time to do it, but things have been crazy.
And I'm only going to be talking about it in regards to what's in the prologue demo. So it's probably going to be fairly brief.
When did you play that?
Started it last night and played it this morning for about an hour and a half this morning.
I'm going to suggest that I don't think any of us are going to beat that game before December.
Hey, I don't need that kind of negativity.
Before December or before January?
I have to finish
Before
that game
December.
in order to get my to finish this challenge that Brad has given me.
Have you seen how long that game is, Nick?
Yes, I know.
And have you seen how many things are coming out between now and then?
I think
I don't need your negativity.
Not negativity. There's a lot coming out. Fucking Dragon Age.
It's just being objective.
What if Dragon Age pops off and is like, yo, I mean, we've been talking about it throughout the year, and I've been giving people shit about talking about 2023 and 2024, some garbage fucking year for video games, man. This shit is turning out to be an incredible year for video games. I don't care what anybody says.
I don't disagree, honestly.
I mean, not for necessarily for you though, Nick. I will say, because they're not all like your shit, but for the people who know, they know, man.
I mean,
it has been very
I could make a
honestly,
killer top 10 for myself right now.
Developed games, really. It was the West has kind of been slacking this year, pretty bad. So if you don't play a lot of Japanese and Korean, Chinese developed games,
I've found plenty of Western games to love this year, Brad. I'll prove it to you by not putting a single Japanese game in my top 10 this year. I'm just kidding.
Bullshit.
That's not happening. That's not happening.
That's going to be 3/4 of your list.
It could happen. But what Japanese game is for sure already on there?
Hold on.
You don't play Yakuza. Oh, Dragon's Dogma?
Does Astrobot count?
No.
Yeah, of course.
Okay, Astrobot.
Well, I guess that. Well, it's a Japanese.
Here's the thing: there are a lot of Eastern studios that are not Japanese that are going to be on my top 10 for sure. Between Nine Souls, Blacksmith Wukong, and
Stellar Blade.
Stellar Blade. Yeah, all three of those are pretty much guaranteed to be on my list.
Non-Japanese, Asian developed games. Interesting.
It's been a stellar year for them. Crazy shit.
Who'd have thought?
Not me.
So Rebirth ain't gonna make it, is what you're saying?
I don't know. By the way,
holy shit, Nick.
Hey, you got remember.
Wow, he finished that too, by the way.
Final Fantasy X remake barely made my list the year it came out. It was my number 10. Oh, sorry, 12. 7. Part 1 of this trilogy or whatever just barely made my list the year it came out.
Okay, but I mean, what year? That was 2020, man. A lot of things happened in 2020.
I mean, I'm not saying Rebirth, it's on the short list, but I can already tell you there's still a lot of shit that I am super excited for.
What about Dragon's Dogma?
It's on the short list as well.
Oh my god.
I know.
This motherfucker. You know what it is, right? It's them swords and fireballs and shit. It just ain't.
No. That's dude.
And that's why I wonder about metaphor, right? Persona, sure, but
shut your mouth, because there is still a perfectly reasonable shot at Dragon's Dogma 2 being on my list this year.
That's insulting. I mean, it has a shot. It has a shot.
It has a
What
shot.
the fuck have you even been playing this year? You're not playing UFO 50.
You want me to tell you? I can tell you all the games I've finished this year. God damn it, I'm not going to, because we're not here for that. But I've played a lot of stuff. I can make a killer top 10 list, and if I were to make my top 10 right now, I can tell you that Dragon's Dogma 2 and Rebirth would be on that list.
Meanwhile, I'm not certain I'll have 10 games.
I don't think either of them are going to make your list. The crazy thing is you haven't played like Yakuza and Unicorn Overlord or like fucking top of the heat this year.
I don't play Yakuza games, and Unicorn Overlord is probably just not.
Notice he hasn't said Animal Well, but you know he also like hit credits and dropped that shit faster than
I did. I liked it. I liked Animal Well, but you know.
But that's.
What do you mean?
It's not your fault. It's not your fault.
Hey, at the end of the day, nobody wants all of our lists to be the same.
It's not your fault, man.
Well, stop saying it like I have a
you.
disease or something.
Not you, man.
Prince of the Universe did that shit too, and he's like, I don't get it, but I'm moving on.
No, I get it. I enjoyed Animal Well.
I got all the eggs.
Dude, I kind of wanted to get all the eggs, but it's one of those situations where it's like there's so much shit coming out so fucking fast. I just don't feel like I want to stop and focus on Animal Well.
It's like absolutely like a top 3, top 5 game of the year, man. You had to give it more time. I mean,
well, it's good. I mean, here's the thing: if I really wanted to give it more time, Brad, I probably would have, but I didn't feel the pull to do so. And I know that's crazy.
You hate Wizards.
I'm hitting
Heist 2. This has been a crazy year.
It has been a crazy year. I'm recording.
Also, Nick, I'm surprised you have not yet played Lorelei and the Laser Eyes.
It's on my list of stuff that I'd like to try, but I just
You bought it.
if you could see it's on. Yeah, I mean, I could play it now that I have the family sharing thing.
Dread Delusion.
Dude, do you know how many games? Do you know how many games are on my list that I have active? That I have a list of games that I actively would love to find time to play, and there's just not enough time. I mean, Nolan says it all the time, and he's right. There's just not enough fucking time.
You know what I haven't touched? Shadow of the Erd Tree.
Oh my god!
Shit. I haven't
finished
touched
that. I finished that.
Yeah, it's just DLC. It don't count. Fuck it.
I don't know, man. That's really good.
I mean,
I
it
know
is
it's good, and I'll find a rainy day to play it, and I'm sure I'll love it. But I don't have. I got less time than Nick. I mean, I'm barely getting by, man.
Actually, Brad, did you beat Elden Ring, right?
The base game, yeah.
Dude, are you kidding me? I'm
just saying, like, to get to Shadow of the Erd Tree, you have to go through a significant quest line, like a quest line that's pretty late game too. Like,
first of all, you don't know what you're talking about. My save is not New Game Plus save. I'm level 170 on a new game, so
yeah.
I just
I.
Hey guys,
you didn't start New Game Plus. I don't have to like replay the game or anything. I did everything in Elden Ring, and my save is over 150 hours.
I'm just saying, if you restart the game, if you go to New Game Plus, you have to go through everything to get to that.
I'm telling you, I didn't do that. I know.
Okay.
Are y'all ready to record?
I think so. I've been recording on OBS.
All right.
I'm recording. I'm saying
All
you're
right.
confused.
I'm recording.
Roll call starts now. Brad.
Hello.
Nolan.
Hey, it's Nolan, and this is my second roll call.
Christopher Davis.
Hello, this is Chris's second roll call too.
A lot of people started New Game Plus. I specifically did not, because I've literally been fucked from that DLC. I've been fucked on From Software DLC before. So I never even started the New Game Plus save.
I didn't know what I was doing. I was stupid. I finished the game and immediately started New Game Plus just to be like, oh, let's see if it carries over.
I knew better.
And then found out later that I had fucked myself. So not only did I spend 50 hours in Shadow of the Erd Tree this year, I did what I needed to do to get through it, get to that point where I could play Erd Tree. But again, my wife basically carried me to that point by telling me all the different tricks to getting back to that point, of which there are many.
Shout out to Kanitsugami. I feel like that one came and went, easily forgotten. I mean, I think the timing was fine, but it just didn't get the attention even then.
I regret not playing that.
when you really start to dig into the games that came out this year that nobody on this podcast has even had time to play yet, that I know some of us want to, like I downloaded the Plucky Squire on PlayStation Plus because it's on PlayStation Plus. Nobody's played that yet. I'd like to find time for it. There's other games that have come and gone that I want to try. Nobody here tried, what was it called? It was on Nolan's Fantasy Critic, Bo Path of the Teal Lotus. I was kind of interested in trying that.
I haven't even started Nine Souls.
That didn't materialize. Yeah, man, there's a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
A lot of stuff. Anyways,
Frostpunk 2 is on Game Pass.
Frostpunk 2 is on Game Pass. But Nolan is playing Zelda right now. But yeah, and we still got some big stuff before the end of the year. Obviously, new Life is Strange, new Dragon Age, new Mario and Luigi game,
Stalker 2,
Indiana Jones, a lot of stuff.
Dragon
man.
Age, Velgar, that's all we need.
So yeah, a lot of stuff. But just to kind of like transition in here,
Silk Song?
That's not happening, Brad.
Welcome back to the show, everyone.
Welcome back to the show.
How sick would it be, though? How sick would it be if everyone's like, oh, video games are good. What's going to be game of the year? Is it going to be Astro Boy? Is it going to be Metaphor, UFO 50, Silent Hill, whatever people are going to be saying? And then, like, Game Awards, Shadow Drop, Silk Song strolls in, and they're like, wait, what about me, dog? And then it's going to be Universal. Silk Song's going to be shitting all over all these other games. We're like, who gives a fuck about this other shit? The real game's here. That would be wild. It would be wild.
It would be wild, Brad, and I'm not going to lie, I'd probably rage quit Fantasy Critic. It'd be over. It'd be done. But yeah, anyways, I wasn't really originally planning on talking about this, but two things happened. One, we talked a little bit last week about how a bunch of shit got delayed, and basically all the wheels came off of my Fantasy Critic League. And also, one of those games was something I was kind of hoping would be the crux of my strategy to finish Brad's challenge to me to get 10 points on his weird scoring chart of playing obscure Japanese games.
Easy scoring chart
in 2024, and that's obviously not gonna happen with those games. So it really kind of came down to my only choice here if I want to get across the finish line is to play Metaphor Refantazio. The next game from the studio that's
over here.
From the studio
I can say that until you get your points. There's tons of games on that fucking list that you don't even kind of consider. So don't act like there's not options. There's plenty of options.
I'm not saying
there's a Saga game. Options. There's a East game. There's a Trail of game. I know because they're too ugly for you. You graphics hoe.
Yeah,
let's talk about how pretty Metaphor is.
Let's talk about it. But real quick, a couple things. So in addition to that, I was not entirely convinced that this was going to be my strategy here. Until the fucking reviews dropped this week, and congratulations, Chris Davis.
Everyone's been telling you this game was going to score.
I thought it was going to be, again, I thought this was going to be like an 88, right around 88, 89,
true,
maybe.
True, but when people were saying 88, that was like the fucking floor. Everyone knew this was going to be like.
I don't know,
man. No, this is the Persona A team, and they have respect very few developers have. Period. Like they are a premier, and Square Enix doesn't even have this anymore because they're like fucking dicey these days. There is they're like the fucking Larian of JRPGs. Everyone trusts them to ship.
There was a part of me that was a little skeptical just because it didn't have Persona in the name, and I thought a lot of people were going to be like, well, this is not what we really want. This is the stopgap until Persona 6.
I get it. But did you see the scores for the last Shin Megami Tensei game? They're also up there. These people know how to cook. Or they cook.
So this game is, I think right now, an Open Critic, this game's sitting at like a 93. So
which
bravo,
is
Chris
crazy.
Davis.
That is higher than expected for sure.
It is crazy.
It was at 95 and it went down to 91, but
everything's at 95 climbing. Doesn't matter.
And everything, and you know, at the same time, the reviews came out, and I was like, But they also said they were going to do this thing, right, where they release a demo. But the demo is just the beginning of the game, and that's your save data will carry over, which is
the
a
best
brilliant,
trend in games.
the best trend and a perfect
The
marketing
worst
thing.
trend is early access. Pay more to play the game a few days early. My God,
Yes,
does
which
Dragon Age have that?
no, but Silent Hill 2 had that, and I resisted,
Gross.
even though Silent Hill 2 is one of my
Gross.
favorite games of all
Good,
time.
Good.
But,
Good.
anyways, Metaphor Refantazio, I played through. I haven't finished this demo because it's actually a pretty girthy prologue demo. It's like a 5-6 hour trek just to get through the demo. I'm probably about halfway through that, and I know we're gonna dive deeper into this later. So I really just kind of want to give like first.
For sure. I mean,
first
I don't know
impressions.
if I've made it clear, but this has always been a 100% pickup for me. Because this is a game that has a lot of the things I don't like about Persona,
Yes.
but like all of the things I do like about Persona, which is like the top-notch presentation and style, and
which is top notch. And one the thing that it does, what I will say, and a lot of people have the kind of like the elevator pitch to me, at least in our own Discord, has been like it's like Persona, but without all the without where the characters aren't all like high school kids, right? So you don't have that kind of
insufferable,
which are some would say insufferable. Very quickly,
some of them are dogs or
So-
robots
Or
that's
cats.
true. And some
or
of those
bears.
and those are often the best characters in those games.
let me not just that, Nick. It's not just like that school setting, which I kind of can't stand. Not any these days, honestly, a little bit overdone. But the things that like turn me off of Persona, I fucking hate, in my opinion, the limited combat system. But I also really hate the fucking progression system in almost all Shin Megami Tensei games. These fucking demons, and you fuse them to make more, but like it doesn't make any fucking sense. You take a snowman and a fucking angel and you merge them together and you get a horse dude, which is fine, I guess. But then you take the horse dude and like the fucking snowman again, and now you get a fucking pixie. And it's like none of this makes sense. And then you take the pixie and the horse dude again, and you make a fucking snowman. No, it just like you can't make any sense to it. I fucking hate it. I am a Monster Hunter guy. Monster Hunter, you fight the red dragon and you get a fire sword and some red armor, and that makes sense to my brain. It doesn't make sense to just the arbitrary nature of fusions making all kinds of different things. I always hated it in Shin Megami Tensei games and Persona games. And I'm so glad this game replaces it with a job class system.
But Brad, the music that plays when you're in the velvet room to merge them is fucking choice.
It's pretty good. It's pretty
good.
good. And the music here is good too.
So real quick, the first thing right out of the gate starting this game is it just kind of throws you into the deep end of kind of like this new lore and kind of establishing this as like, okay, this is not like high school kids Persona. This is a completely original fantasy universe that they've built, and it is
grown-up
dark,
anime.
and
It's
it
grown-up
is
anime.
violent. It is. I mean, honestly, like right out of the gate, it feels very like Game of Thronesy. It's like we're talking like kings being assassinated and like blood everywhere and just like shady individuals
swords
doing
and
some
elves
shady
and blood.
shit.
This is my kind of shit.
And in fact, as you kind of progress, you start to like, obviously it drip feeds you like things about the world, and it starts talking to you about all the different. There's basically like a caste system in the game, but like all the different castes are like different. I forgot what they call them because it's like obviously it has its own like library of terms and shit that I don't have memorized yet. But like all these different like races of people who are like, but depending on what race they are, it basically determines like their place in the world, and there's like
whether
10
they
or
have
12
tails or not, right?
Some of them are like have like elf ears, and then some of them have like look like they're part dog. You know what I mean? Like but like all the themes around it and everything are really real and kind of intense and political. I mean, this game is probably going to like set off a lot of people.
Religion, politics, race.
The people who like to like
social class
lose their mind over shit being quote unquote woke are probably going to lose their mind here. But that's good because fuck them.
But you got to understand, those people love anime.
They do, and they're
call them anime avatars.
They're gonna very casually like, but it's okay because it's anime.
Different. They're two different classes. I'm sorry.
They're gonna sweep that shit under the rug. But yeah, like it just very quickly established itself as something very, very different, and it is It is gritty and dark, and I love. But it also has like that Persona DNA very obviously front and center. Like there is literally there is like an equivalent of the Velvet Room in this game, and you go to it, you talk to a dude, you do different things in that place, and those things tie into the job class system that Brad mentioned, which are called archetypes, which seem to be pretty cool so far. But I've just kind of barely started
you have social
to like,
links that you build with people, and those will unlock job classes. And I this does have a calendar system. It's one thing about the modern Persona games that I also don't like is the very rigid calendar system. And I'm a little sad
it
they
makes
brought
more
it into
sense
this
in
game.
Persona because it's all built around like a school schedule.
It made more sense in Persona, but again,
And
I have not played enough of this to really know
like
how
the
it's
first
implemented
event,
here.
like the first event in Metaphor that is like on the calendar, like a funeral. So you're like trying to get somewhere what happens. I don't know if you could, but
Uh-oh.
really know if you can story how a calendar is read. No. Is it
Hello?
me? Am I being lost?
I think it's everyone.
I think Discord did something. Brad's gone. Yeah.
I think
Can y'all
Discord
hear
should
me?
have bed.
Happening.
Hello, I can hear you.
Make a great pod.
Damn.
Yeah.
Damn you, Discord.
And now, oh shit. What is going on?
Let's close and rebuild the call. Can you hear me?
Okay. We're going to have to...
One sec, guys.
I'm still recording. It's gonna be okay.
Hello?
It does seem
All
to
right.
be better now.
Okay, well, I guess we're going to need to stop the recording and start over again,
of.
probably.
Do we?
I don't know.
I think we can keep going.
Start over. We just edit this out.
All right, I'll try and remember. I mean, I don't know what it's going to do for the video. It might make things kind of weird.
It
with
just
the
means
video.
more editing for my part, but it's okay. You'll just need to send me the files.
Okay. All right. Well, anyways, so we're good. We're back to normal.
Yeah.
That had to have been a Discord problem because it happened to all of us.
Okay. Cool. Fuck Discord. Anyways, I don't remember what I was saying. Metaphor.
What do you think about the combat?
So one thing I'll say, like they've done a lot of stuff that, because like my biggest complaint with Persona has always been kind of how long it takes to do everything. Like dialogue takes forever, and like running around dungeons and like entering, like you have to always watch the animations when like the fucking battles start up and stuff. And here there's this there's like a split battle system where like you can like in real-time combat you can run up to enemies and attack them, and if you deplete their I forgot what they call it, like a break meter or something, you can actually defeat them without ever triggering like the actual like turn-based battle. But if they're stronger enemies,
if they're weaker,
if they're weaker, so you eventually get to a point where you can just be running around. If they're weaker enemies, you're just like hacking and slashing and getting experience that way.
Is that part fun though? That the hacking and slashing. Though?
I mean, it's pretty simple, but it keeps the momentum and the pace of the game moving much quicker, because like you're only spending time in the really elaborate, drawn out turn-based battles against enemies that are actually challenging, or in theory challenging. So I mean, I think it's a pretty cool system, and it keeps everything kind of moving at a nice clip. And the auto, we were talking about this earlier with Zelda, but like the auto progression of text of like dialogue works. You set it once, you don't have to do it every single time conversations happen. You set it once, and it remembers from conversation to conversation, and until you decide to turn it off.
Okay.
And it works beautifully, even for dialogue that's not spoken. It gives you a pretty decent chunk of time to like read it
dialogue accidentally when I was playing that demo, which surprised me.
Yeah, I mean, you got to be a little careful with the non-spoken dialogue, but
Also, yo, come on, dude.
I knew it.
This isn't fully
here it
voice
comes.
acted. This isn't fully voice acted.
I mean,
Come on.
everybody has all the major characters have voice actors, but not every line of dialogue is
Yeah, I just
major
I feel like
dialogue is
this
spoken.
team could get there, and if I told you about Ayuden Chronicle. Now, granted, I'm just saying. I feel like this is like premiere. This is it's giving Nintendo a little bit. Like, come on. I know y'all got the money for it. This is your A-lister, okay?
But like Persona, like
I just fucking lines.
I played through Persona 3 this year, Reload, and I don't think this is. I mean, there's chunks of dialogue in that game that are not fully voice acted. It's
I'm
not
defending Persona. They've had this problem.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, well, I'm just saying it's about on the same level as Persona. Like there are a lot of parallels between this and Persona in presentation, in just kind of like general systems, in like lore. There's a lot of metaphors. It's just kind of a different genre of storytelling, anyways. But
it seems super promising. It's just it's such a scratch of the surface, even for you, Nick. Playing a few hours like this.
I was gauging. Well, here's the thing. I was going into this with like, I don't know for sure if I'm going to play this. I don't know if this is really my thing. But I do want it for the points. But like I'm not going to just
even after playing what you played at the demo, like you're not necessarily vibing with this.
Listen, I mean, no. Going into it, I wasn't sure if I was going to vibe with it. But the fact that this demo, this prologue exists and it will carry over into my save data was all the reason I needed to actually play it. So I was going to just kind of wait and see what my reaction to it is. But I am into it. I'm loving the lore. I'm loving the universe they've created here. I'm loving the vibe. They've already got me kind of the hook in my mouth as far as like what the kind of like the story hook, I suppose, makes me want to learn more about what's going on. I'm in.
Before we move on, can I briefly tell you about the time
it's like a 100-hour game though.
Traumatized Henry? So when I get a new game, he's always like super interested, and I'll tell him like, this isn't really for you. You shouldn't be watching this. But then he's like, oh, okay. But then he'll be like standing in the kitchen watching it, and it's really annoying. And I'm like, just don't look at the TV. And he's like, he can't stop looking at the TV. And I'm like, look, I've never played this. I know it is a game for grown-ups, but I don't think it's scary or anything. Because he's always worried about things being scary. Mm-hmm. Like horror or whatever. So I'm like, look, you can sit down and watch me play a little bit. There's fairies and shit in here. I already watched the opening cutscene where they like kill the king or whatever. So it's brutal. We're just kind of chilling. We're just kind of coasting. So I'm like, what? You can sit in here. I know he can't watch this game. I knew that much, but at least he could quell his curiosity or whatever, quench his thirst for, new game or whatever by just watching a little bit of it and then realize it's not for him. He get bored or whatever. And it was like when the caravan gets attacked and like fucking people get cut up and he just loses it. He's like, oh my God, he killed him. And he was like, fucking, how dare you let me watch this? This is super scary because I guess
you tell mom.
He's like, he's dead. He's scared. No, she was standing in the kitchen. She knew what was happening, and she knew it was gonna fucking happen. But I told him, I just tried to be like straight up with him. Look, this isn't for you, but I know you're gonna keep watching it anyway, so you might as well come over here and sit down and figure it out. That is not for you. But again, I didn't know what was gonna happen. There was a fairy on the screen. I thought the game was kind of chilling out. But yeah, it got pretty intense pretty quick. And, it was bloody, right? And I'm like, dude,
this game is very bloody.
Lego Lord of the Rings, slashing at orcs with swords, asking to watch the movie. I'm like, if you can't watch that, if you can't handle this, I'm like, this is a cartoon. That was an elf anime shit, right? Like, if you can't handle this,
some shit up.
I'm like, he's like, and I tell him like, what do you think swords do? What I'm like this is knights and kings and shit. It's like, what do you think the knights do? He's like, they protect the king. And I'm like, how do you think they do that with swords? And he's like, he killed him. And he does this thing where like his mouth is agape. Like, how could you? It was, and my wife was in the kitchen behind me. She was dying. Malia was trying so hard not to crack up.
That is,
but it's so funny when he gets like that.
it's you've got a real empathetic kid here.
It's true. It's true. He's a softie for sure. But it's a PS5 game. I got to play it on a console.
Definitely.
I can't play this shit on my Steam Deck. It runs like shit on PC.
Your kid, Henry, not a sociopath. There's that.
No, the opposite of whatever the fuck a sociopath is. Too much emotion.
Too much emotion. All right. So yeah, we'll revisit this when we're actually playing the full game. Like I said, I'm on board. I'm probably not gonna pick this up until after Silent Hill 2, after I play some of these other horror games that I want to play this month. But I am definitely gonna get through the prologue and then get into the meat of the actual game here pretty soon, because it seems pretty cool.
He's 7. I think I already saw my first Freddy Krueger movie at 7.
You know what's funny? You mentioned
I did have bad older brothers, but come on, it's got.
I feel like Terminator 2 when I was 5.
This is like my deepest shameful secret. I feel like, especially considering how much I love Scream.
Oh my god, are you gonna say what I think?
I've never seen Nightmare on Elm Street. In fact, I almost watched it the other night, but I ended up going with Trick or Treat instead. Yeah, I know. It's crazy.
Bad choice. Are you kidding me? Find
I have never
like a horror all time. Find a top 10 list that doesn't have the original Nightmare on Elm Street on it.
I don't know.
What are you doing?
I don't know. I just need to watch the first one, and then I'll probably be hooked. I just,
Johnny Depp, watch him get murked.
Spoilers, I know.
Freddy, everybody dies.
Yeah. So.
Dude, that really is like an all-time classic. And then skip 2, but then go to 3. Is like it's when it gets like super campy and it's like delicious. I don't even know which one I like the more, like the horror classic or like.
Was the third one directed by Wes Craven? Because I feel like I just kind of want to watch the Wes Craven.
No, shut the fuck up. Look, Freddy's bigger than Wes Craven. Okay, go watch New Nightmare After Words or whatever. Who gives a shit? Dream Warriors.
The only film
is so good.
The only film that I have seen with Freddy Krueger is Freddy vs. Jason.
Ugh.
The first movie I ever took myself to see in the theater by myself because I couldn't find anybody else that wanted to watch.
All right. I'm going to give you the 15-second rundown. Watch the first one. It's a horror classic. 3, 4, 5 gets dicey. 5.
Wait, why are you skipping the second one?
Listen to me. 1, 3, 4, 5. Just finish it off. Skip Freddy's Dead. Watch Wes Craven's New Nightmare. And then you're done. Don't watch anything else with Freddy.
I hear you. But what is so bad about the second one? Just out of curiosity.
Literally an entire documentary was made about what the fuck is wrong with the second one.
Really?
That documentary is not worth watching. That documentary is worth watching. Maybe more than the actual second movie.
Okay.
Interesting.
Noted. Good to know. I will pop my Nightmare on Elm Street cherry this month. I promise you. Sorry, I know that's a little graphic. Anyway,
I don't like how you said that.
Sorry, I had to make everybody a little uncomfortable.
How you said it.
Okay, now it's weird. All right.
Time to ring that bell, Brad.
What else we got? Is this?
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Tim bells. Oh yeah,
this is. I forgot about it again.
This is easy. Easy capturing footage of this because it is a What is the Exit 8? Is that the one that kind of popped off a little bit earlier this year?
Which
Exit
one?
8. Are y'all familiar with Exit 8?
I was not familiar with it.
So this is an anomaly game, but it is specifically the flavor of anomaly game. It's not one of those like camera shifters. You remember when I was talking about those on the podcast probably at some point?
What is an anomaly
in the past
game?
12 months, I suppose. I think around last Halloween, I was playing the game where you're switching the camera feeds looking for anomalies, and you have to detect and remove the anomalies.
Yeah.
This is an anomaly game, but it's kind of a new flavor. And they've been around for a little while, but the one that popped off recently was what is it called? Terminal 8, Exit 8, the Exit 8. Yeah. And this is an Exit 8 clone, I suppose, where it's the same sort of thing. You're looking for anomalies, but you're walking. And Exit 8 was a game where you're walking down a subway station path or whatever, and you're just sort of like looking around, looking for anything weird, right? Basically, and then and the idea is, and it's the exact same here. In this game, you're walking through this pub, right?
That was creepy.
There's kind of like two sides to this pub, old timey. I think this is like a period thing. You go to one side, you go around the other side, and then you kind of exit down the hallway. And as soon as you exit, it loops, and you're back at the start. And you're like, oh, whoa, right? But the mechanics of this game are, if you notice anything different, turn back and go the other way. If you notice that if you think nothing has changed, keep going forward. Okay. So you either take the exit forward, or you take the exit back. If you are correct, it progresses to the next bell, and you have to get 10 bells to win the game. If you make a single mistake, which means if you think there's an anomaly and you go backwards, it restarts. If there are no anomalies,
get 0 bells.
If there are anomalies and you progress thinking there are none, it goes back to 0 bells. So the idea is to go 10 loops looking for any anomalies. Now, they range from very minor things like, wait a minute, I don't think the wallpaper in this part of the pub was this color. I'm pretty sure it wasn't this color. I'm pretty sure, okay, these rugs weren't here. There's no way. And then you go back, right? Because it's an anomaly. It's something different. That means it's
the balls in the pool table are in a different position.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that was one of them. And it's a randomly generated, like, it's almost like a roguelike, right? It's a horror roguelike, if you will. But the thing is, some of the anomalies can actually be just like horror events. Like, oh, this is not a minor change. Something is horrifying is happening, and you get scared. You're scared, but you're running backwards because, of course, that's not normal. But in this one, some of those things can actually like chase you and instant death kill you, which is crazy.
Oh, that's fucked up.
Which I didn't expect. And there's some like pretty horrible shit that like chases you, that you can like stumble into that you really should not. So it's like it's super an X8 clone, and there's probably a lot of these games like this, but this is like a pretty good one, and it's fucking scary. I was streaming this on Saturday, and people were having a lot of fun because it's a game where like everybody's involved, has to pay attention, and you're waiting on Chad, and there's a delay, and he's like, "Does anybody see anything? Does anybody see anything?" And like I'm like, just scream stop if you something seems off to you, and everyone's like very dialed in, but then you also have the temptation to like new people are showing up. They're like, oh, what's going on? And everyone's like, it's like, oh, wait, I don't think that light was on. Everybody's like, shut the fuck up. The light was never on. Shut the fuck up. You're new here. You don't know what's going on. Shut up. And then there's people like trolling who are like, oh, I think I saw the bar stool move. And everyone's like, dude, this ain't the game. This ain't the time. We are in this together. That's what made it fun. I did almost get to the end, but like the game was still a little glitchy, and I like kind of glitched out and it screwed me. But when I was recording this footage, I was kind of on a run, and Malia was in here, and I was kind of showing her the game too. So I stopped the recording and I kept going, and I actually did finish the game. And I think it might have been like a bad ending situation. I don't know, but I definitely got through all 10 bells nice. At the end of this footage. Well, you're not going to see it because I stopped the footage, because it kind of goes on and on. It's fun. It's a fun type of game to play, like if you're looking for a horror game for the season.
Right.
And it's a fun type of game to stream, because again, people kind of get into trying to find this shit, and it can be really little. Like there was one where like there's a few paintings that are like kind of like oceanscape paintings, and like the water was like red in the paintings. I'm like, but it was like just a little bit red, like blood almost. And I'm like, okay, I'm pretty sure that's not what these paintings look like. But you start second guessing yourself. It's like, wait a minute, maybe they were always like that. And then sometimes
and you gotta make a judgment
you catch
call.
an anomaly, but you don't catch the actual anomaly. So you're like, oh, I'm pretty sure like, that rug wasn't there. So, or like, I'm pretty sure that rug wasn't there. So then you go backwards because you think it's an anomaly, and you're like, oh yeah, I was right. And then you're going back through again. You're like, oh wait, the fucking rug is there, man. It wasn't that. It was something else, which means something else was different and you didn't catch it. And you know what I mean? Because it's a 50-50 chance every time. So it does happen. Sometimes you do luck out, but it's kind of scary or frightening when you realize that the thing you thought was right or wrong was actually not the thing, especially when scary shit can be happening. Because I had times where like someone in chat late was like, you didn't see that dude peeking from behind that pillar? And I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? And so it's scary. It's good. This is a fun one of those. I don't know how. Remember how much it cost,
I
but
caught
he
a moment.
gifted it to me. I think it's $10.
I caught a moment where I saw a hand come out of the chimney, out of the fireplace, and
I
grab
didn't see that
something.
when I played it on Saturday. Yeah.
Pretty neat. It's pretty neat.
Fun game.
Cool.
Glad you
Tim
enjoyed
Bells,
it.
or the Tim Bells. I don't know. It's the
10
art
Bells.
says 10 Bells, but then the Steam name is the 10 Bells. They need to probably sort that one out. Weird.
All right. Yeah. So I think that's it game wise, and I don't. Fantasy Critic. Is there anything we want to say about? I mean, we already talked a lot about scores.
11 bells.
Wait, what?
I did something when it glitched. I did something when I was confusing, and I got to 11 bells, and I was like, "Yo, was that the true ending?" Because I'm pretty sure I got the funeral in the footage that you had seen today, and I'm pretty sure that was the bad ending.
Now Brad's just totally having conversations with people in
Was
chat.
I barking up the right tree with 11 bells?
When you got to
On
11 bells
Saturday?
last night, an achievement went off. So,
Okay, I was getting scared, dude. It was crazy. Anyways, yeah,
that's what the people tune in for. Anyways, we've talked a lot about Fantasy Critic scores this week in relation to Silent Hill and Metaphor Refantazio. Was there anything else that significant? That
I'll say the
happened
only
this
thing
week?
notable. I mean, Chris Davis finally got a dub, which is nice, right?
had to happen
big one.
eventually.
It's good. I don't know if it's gonna I don't know if he's necessarily back in the game or anything, but it's definitely the best news he's had in a while.
Yes.
I will say the most notable thing, and this is crazy to me, because if you really look, there's at least 10 slots that need to be filled, and there was no bids last Thursday. So I don't know if we're like waiting each other out or what, but we are almost halfway through October.
So
we got to pick up some shit.
I am in a situation where I have 3 open slots and only $2, which means I'm
Your
probably
situation is unique. You have to sell something.
Which means I'm gonna have to sell something, but somebody's gonna have to. I'm not gonna sell like my best thing because that would just be pointless.
And no one expects you to, but like no one's gonna want to buy a 70 off something off.
No.
Of
I'm probably gonna sell like
80 something.
Yeah. I'm probably gonna sell. I was thinking about maybe selling Ultros, which is an 80, or something.
That's
That's
79.
not a bad sell. 80's
79.
good for Fantasy Critic.
It's also locked.
for cash.
Is it locked? Oh, somebody.
Does that mean you can't sell it? Yeah, I think you could still sell it. It just stays locked.
I think I have a couple options. I think Indica is also a 9-pointer.
I'll buy
79
Lorelei from you.
Nah,
I
you're
don't
not
know
getting.
if I'd pay
You're
for
not getting
79.
Lorelei from me, you bitch.
Nah.
Oh, sorry.
But, I mean,
We had this conversation tonight already.
it has to be approved too. But I mean, a fair trade. I think the idea is if the trade is not like, in bad faith, like our situation earlier this year, I don't think we have any reason to like thumbs it down unless it's giving somebody a clear advantage. I don't know.
You have 3 slots and $2.
Yeah, so I need to get like. I need
I'll
to,
sell it for $1. I'll buy
What?
it for
No.
$1. Dude, then you'll have 3. So then you can buy.
The problem is there's so many slots open. Buying anything with $1 is going to be tough.
I'm also sitting here thinking.
He might have to eat that 70.
Yeah, I might. I mean, I'm also sitting here thinking, like, I don't think it's gonna happen, but it is obviously a special case. Stalker 2, I hope it hits, but you got to remember the circumstances in which that game is being developed. If it gets pushed, it could get pushed. I at this point, it feels pretty locked in.
Yeah, same.
But it could slip.
This has been the year of surprises. Have there been any tragedies this year in terms of, this game was way worse than people were expecting?
I mean, I kind of feel that way about Star Wars Outlaws in terms of scoring.
Yeah, it was a little soft, but I think people kind of were sniffing that one out early, a little bit.
Also, it sounds like some of the post-release updates they've done for it. if it were to be reviewed now, would probably
awful.
Oh yeah,
that was a little bit surprising. Like in the 50s.
Luckily, that's not eligible for Fantasy Critic, anyways. But
No. A lot of leagues do DLC, which again, I'm leaving all these rules up to y'all next year if I'm anywhere near the top, honestly. But
all right, well, anyways, let's go ahead and wrap up with the 4-player minute as we always do. So
actually, Nick, just so you know, you've got 4 slots you got to take care of.
What? Why?
Hmm?
Well, I mean, Post Trauma is not releasing this year according to Fantasy Critic, so you got to drop that.
Right. I already dropped
he's
it.
counting that one. He's counting that one.
Okay, but you got 2 regular slots, and you have a counterpick slot that's open now.
No. That's a
No,
minus
yeah,
7.
Yeah. I used my super drop on a counter pick.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay.
Yeah, we don't do mid-year counters. We did them minus
Okay.
7.
Well, I mean, I'm just
Which
hoping
has
to
to be
say,
manually adjusted.
yeah. There's just a warning here
Yeah.
that says if you do not fill this counter pick slot by the end of the year, it will
Right.
cost you minus 15 points.
Which is
No,
what led to the discussion of what we think the minus should actually be.
It's going to be
all January.
We're going to have
discussed.
to manually adjust it, but yeah, the rules we've set up, that'll be a -7 for me.
Okay. All right. Sorry.
So
go ahead with
anyways,
the 4-player minute.
4-player minute. Brad, why don't you start us off?
I'm gonna let Nolan start it.
God, this is the second week in a row you've done this.
Again?
Second
Son
week
of
in
a
row, this
bitch.
is third week.
All right, my 4-player minute time of the week starts now. It's slightly less video games per the past several months. Just been busy with life, trying to deal with blinds in the house, trying to potentially split the blinds purchased between multiple companies, because certain companies offer one thing I want and certain companies offer another thing I want. Dealing with the nursery. This weekend I ended up painting it. I thought the paint was supposed to be low VOC. What it is?
It was VOC.
Volatile chemicals.
Whatever it is. Essentially, like the
You
fumes
paint
and stuff.
the nursery with volatile chemicals?
It's more so like I was painting in there with like the door closed because I didn't want the dogs coming in, and it didn't really like seem like it was a big deal. But then the next day I woke up with a horrible migraine, which fucking ruined my Saturday because I ended up going I ended up sleeping until like 1:45.
Oh my god,
dude!
Jesus.
I felt horrible. But on Sunday, I ended up painting a second coat in the nursery with the windows open. Because the problem is, when I did it on Friday, I obviously did it Friday, so I worked all day, and then did it Friday evening. So I don't want to open the window. Yes, there's bug screens, but bugs still get in, and I don't want bugs sticking in like the paint. And so I did it Saturday. Yeah, I did it Sunday after or like morning. With the windows open and then like a box fan in the window trying to blow out both the VOCs and any potential bugs. And that went much better. So now the room is painted, minus the accent wall, which we're hanging up wallpaper. Probably going to work on that tomorrow, doing wallpaper. Nice. And then the nursery will be done to the extent of we can start moving like furniture and stuff back into it. So, yeah. Things are happening. We actually have our baby shower this weekend. So once again, just another weekend where I'm not going to have enough time to play video games because I'm, driving I got to pick up my mom from the airport on Friday and then drive back home. And then I got to drive Saturday morning at like 8 a.m. to go to the baby showers in New Jersey because we're having it at a zoo, which will be fun. Cool. Okay. All the guests also get entry to the zoo. So people who are bringing their kids can kind of hang out and do zoo stuff. And I think we're supposed to have like an animal come, like the handler's going to bring like an animal and have like a little show and stuff.
Jack Hanna?
Exactly. So I don't know. It should be fun. But once again, it's just like another weekend where I'm not going to play as many games as I'd like to. That being said, like I said, I've been playing Zelda. It's one of the few games in the past few months that I've actually been itching to play. Like when I'm not playing it, I'm like, oh man, I want to get back there, and I want to
Not to jump on that, but everything I hear is that the more people play that game, the better and better and better and better it gets. It's a really cool arc.
I'm starting to unlock more echoes and like the way I can get used to early on when you can only use one or two echoes. But now I'm like using multiple and I'm trying to play them off each other and stuff like that. So it's definitely a lot of fun. And so I want to play more of it. And I'm excited to play more of it.
Sweet.
Yeah, but that's really it for me.
Cool. We also found out this week just on
good call.
Ed.
Is that public info?
He's posted on Instagram. Online, yeah. We talked about it in Discord in the public.
I don't have an Instagram, so
Ed and Katie are having a baby, and they're also due in December. So look at that.
Within a week of me and Bernard.
Yeah, that's wild.
So
brother from another mother and father.
And yeah, so now
y'all will be on very similar trajectories as far as like milestones and
so we're gonna put fantasy critic points on the line for who has the baby first.
That's funny. All right. Chris
Davis.
Okay.
I've learned my lesson. I'm
Yeah.
not passing it over to Brad anymore.
Yeah, it ain't worth
Brad
it.
goes last now.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna split mine in half. First half, some excitement. Saber Interactive has announced that they are working on a AAA action RPG based on the Avatar: The Last Airbender franchise.
Hey, Saber has made a really good game now. Okay,
They have, yeah.
They're
So,
no longer relegated to low 70s. Okay.
You know,
No, it's not even about that. It just that doesn't seem like it's a weird fit for Saber Interactive. It feels like.
I feel like Saber's kind of a weird studio. Like
they make
they're
like
all over the board
shooters and stuff. It's a little weird. And Mud Runner games.
I mean, just I'm of the opinion, just let Saber try. You know, they've had a good string lately. Just let them see what they can do. And honestly, like, there's not a whole lot of good Avatar games, let alone a good Avatar game, period. So, like, just let them work. We need something better than what we got right now. Yeah, I think an action RPG, especially if it's an open world thing.
You're eventually going to find out that it's based off of the M. Night Shyamalan film Avatar.
There's that low budget horror game from Platinum that I hear is actually kind of decent.
Yeah, it was supposed to be pretty decent. It was the Platinum B team. Yeah.
Yep.
But this one, no, it's not actually based on Aang and those characters. It's like an Avatar legend we have not seen before. So it's some characters thousands of years in the past. So they've got enough like narrative freedom there to potentially make something pretty cool, I think.
Is it going to be Avatar 2? A joke. Don't worry.
The other
like TOO.
No.
Okay.
No.
Don't know.
The other half, and the more interesting news that happened this week or this past week was Microsoft is finally doing something with Halo again.
That Halloween update.
They've circled the wagons and like you can tell they've been like they're pivoting. I don't know if pivoting is the right word.
I don't
for what this is.
So the Halo World Championships were this past week. And they're really trying to do like a whole fresh new generation of new blood, trying to explore and see what the next vision of Halo could theoretically be.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, like I feel like that's kind of what you do in situations like this. Like
it's
enthusiasm for the franchise petered out very quickly after Halo Infinite.
Yeah.
And I don't think anybody who cares about Halo wants to see Halo just wither and die.
No.
But something drastic had to happen.
I think a lot of people want to be excited for Halo again, and this could get there eventually. The problem is, again, this is a recruitment video showing off a art exploration project. So the next Halo game, no matter what it is still years
away.
So
yeah.
Just do a battle royale, do an extraction shooter.
They already tried to do it.
Man.
They already tried to do that, and they canceled both those projects.
Okay, well, don't cancel them.
Brad with the solutions. Don't cancel them.
Yeah, don't cancel them. That's what the kids want to play.
That's hey.
But what about the Halo fans who aren't the kids?
Did it not work for Call of Duty? Did it not work for Fortnite?
Yeah, did it not work for so many other games?
Did it not work for Apex or Titanfall?
Yeah. But the one really exciting piece of news for Halo for me is that it was announced for the 20th anniversary of Halo 2, which is November the 9th this year. Their dig site community is releasing officially for the MCC their completed version of the Halo 2 2003 demo. The infamous demo. So you'll be able to download and play that on November the 9th. Yes. And that is something I've always wanted to play.
What's special about the demo, real quick?
It was just like the very first showing off of Halo 2. And it showed off like the battle rifle, the SMGs, the self-driving Car things like that. Like it's this really hype demo where they showed off everything that was going to be possible in Halo 2.
That wasn't in the actual game.
Everything in that demo was cut. None of that content remained, except for like.
That's what I was curious about.
That's what we were trying to get to right there. Is that part?
It's.
I was like, you could also play the full game.
Chris Davis is dying to play a demo for a game that's been out for 20 years.
I am.
I'm ready to go.
It was just
But
so
now with the full context, it makes sense. Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
go look that up on YouTube. That it's a timeless video to really watch, honestly. So
Chris Davis watches it once a week.
Like the 30 years of dance evolution, or nobody.
Nope. Nope.
Never mind.
Nope.
I just was trying to think about old YouTube video. Holy crap, that's a bear. Anybody?
I know what you're talking about. Brad. I got you.
We got there.
Timeless
All right.
video.
I guess I'll go next.
4Player minute. No,
I
gotta go
can't figure you out, Brad. I can't figure you out. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's not complicated. Just wasn't ready. Y'all never are. So just throw me.
I was born ready, Brad.
All right. You got 3 people to get your shit ready. I don't want to hear it. And then it's just like, I'm gonna talk more about Silent Hill. Don't lie to me.
That's not what I'm gonna do, actually.
No, mine is. I just realized because I was talking about Platinum Games. What the fuck is Platinum Games up to? Really?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's someone I'm always curious about. I know some people modern day Platinum Games. Who they're shitty. But I actually thought Bayonetta 3 was way cooler than I was expecting. So I'd like to see something exciting from them. But I was looking at the dates. Double check this. Hideki Kamiya left Platinum Games on October 12th of last year. And I'm pretty sure they signed these like fucking non-competes. Like they basically can't say what they're doing for a year. So we might actually find out what Kamiya is going to be up to or has been up to in a few days, which is kind of exciting.
On the 12th, he's like, I got news for y'all. I've been kicking back and doing nothing for a year.
Well, he did that series of interview
I don't have a job.
with Ikumi Nakamura.
Yeah.
That's right. I remember that. Yeah.
And he was pretty like candid on there, but he didn't get into specifics about what he was working on. He did look like he was kicking back a little, but he also is working on something, or some team, some project. Who knows? Maybe he'll end up with Mikami. It'd be exciting. But we might actually find out soon, which is kind of cool.
So it's expected that Project GG was canceled, right?
I imagine. Absolutely imagine that, because that was his baby, and once
I can't remember the last time we heard anything about that.
It could be one of the reasons he did leave. Maybe that project got canceled. I mean, you can't cancel games in a row. Fuck this place is what I'd be saying. So
yeah. Well, okay. Yeah. So tinfoil hat, but Yoko Taro did a promotional video for Metaphor Refantazio last week.
Yeah, he gets around though. He does all kinds of stuff like that.
Yeah, but he was doing that in Square Enix offices with their permission. So,
he's working on a fucking Nier game, of course.
Yeah, but what if that is
you're thinking that's
project?
that's the next Platinum Games. Actually, that tracks. I bet their next big project is the next Nier.
That would make sense.
Because that is certainly what Yoko Taro is working on.
And we just got Stellar Blade Nier Automata crossover DLC.
Yeah,
so,
but there's been a ton of
those motherfuckers know what they're doing.
Crossover. There's been a ton of crossover stuff. That means nothing really. They know that 2B is an asset that you can.
I see what you did there, Brad.
Pimp out, I guess. I don't know. Sorry.
Oh, that took a nosedive. Okay.
That's kind of what they're doing. It's kind of tasteless most of the time.
Yep. Anything else you want to add to that, or is that?
No, I'm just curious. What is Platinum doing? What is Kamiya doing? What's Mikami doing?
Maybe this time next week we'll know. Okay. My final thought for the night is Silent Hill 2. No. On a more general level, I mentioned this at the top of the show. I am thinking about doing it because I don't really stream very much anymore. But every once in a while, the desire gets me.
PC, man.
Dude, I know, but it's for me. It's just for me to enjoy. I don't know. I mean, here's the thing, man. Here's the thing. It's just whatever. I don't want to get into that here.
8K porn. I get it.
Yeah, fuck yeah, man. No, I'm just kidding. But um, I usually get in the mood to stream something around Halloween. And there's a lot of cool horror stuff, especially now that we're doing the family sharing thing, and like maybe I can find something else on some of your libraries that I haven't tried.
You have access to Carlos's library. He's got all of the cool indie horror.
Yeah. I mean, I'm gonna have to curate a relatively small list because obviously I don't want to just. I'm also like juggling a bunch of non-Halloween related stuff right now, and on top of that, after I finish Silent Hill 2, I am gonna start playing Alan Wake 2: The Final Draft. But with the Alien Isolation news, I was like, fuck, I want to replay Alien Isolation some point. But I also got other stuff like right now I want to play Hollow. I pumped the brakes on Hollow Body for a hot second so I can get through Silent Hill 2, but I'm gonna go back and play that. So there's just a lot of like horror adjacent stuff that I think would be kind of like it'd be cool to like rapid fire some of those things and then figure out which ones I want to stick with. And one in particular, which is a big one, is Outlast Trials, which is obviously a multiplayer centric game, and the only time I'm ever gonna find excuse to do that is if I could do like a community night with that. So if anybody out there is playing Outlast Trials or has played or is interested in playing, when I figure out when I'm going to do this, I will be out there actively looking for people in the community to join me for some Outlast Trials on the stream. And if you want to be a part of that and you're not part of our Discord, maybe you should be in there because that's obviously where I will be planning all of this stuff and keeping everybody abreast of the dates and all that stuff. But yeah, so in the not too distant future, expect I'll probably start around noon and just play until the wee hours of the night. And I'll just play a bunch of horror shit. Some longer than others, some I'll just dabble in, some I'll spend a few hours on.
DM me 2 recent horror recommendations that just came out. That both look cool. One is Mouthwashing, and the other one is Grun, GRUNN. That are horror games that just came out that he says are dope. He also bought I Am Your Beast, which I'm excited to try.
Okay. Wait, I think I Am Your Beast. I feel like I've played that. I could be wrong.
That's the El Paso
maybe I'm thinking of something else. Oh, no. I'm thinking of something else. Okay. Anyways, yeah, the point is I will be doing a horror-centric stream sometime this month. On a side note, the wife and I think I mentioned this previously. The wife and I were trying to figure out kind of like a low-key vacation, like mini vacation we could do, and we ended up getting tickets for Universal Studios in Orlando. And
low key, huh?
Yeah,
low key for you. All right.
Well, I mean, low key isn't like we're looking for a way to do like a 4-day weekend and make that our vacation. So we only have to burn through like 2 vacation days. But the point is, we bought tickets for Universal Studios later this month in Orlando, and obviously Horror Nights, yeah. And obviously, Florida right now is in the path of a huge hurricane, and I just want to send my thoughts out to everybody who's in Florida. I hope everybody is preparing and hopefully not panicking, but doing what you can to prepare.
That being said, get the fuck out if you've got an evacuation notice.
If you have an evacuation notice, take heed. But hopefully, by the time it makes landfall, it's dissipated a bit. But yeah, I mean, it's just like, wow, we got super excited. Like the first time we planned our vacation, we planned our honeymoon when we were going to get married, and then COVID happened a month later, and now we've planned this one, and then a hurricane was barreling down. So I don't know if it's actually going to end up happening. We'll see what's going on there, but yeah, stay safe, everybody in Florida and the coast and wherever. I think Georgia might be in the path a little bit too. I'm not entirely sure, but everybody stay safe. And yeah, that's it. That's our show tonight, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. 4playernetwork.com is, of course, our website where you can find all of our episodes. But if you're more importantly than that, if you're not in our Discord and you want to hang out and talk about video games with a bunch of like-minded people who also like to talk about video games, among other things, you can join us at discord.gg/4player. And yeah, we record these every Tuesday night, so we'll be back next week to talk about more video games. In the meantime, y'all be good to each other, play video games, and good night.
Goodbye.
Bye. Yeah.
Speaking of hurricanes, it was crazy. I don't know if any of y'all listen to MinMax, which is probably one of the best gaming podcasts out there right now. Remind me that it was 80 what?
812.
8012.
8012.
They were doing like a big meetup, and it's not just a meetup. It's like
Thanks, Dead Master Yomi.
This like meetup in like the U.S. that is voted on by patrons. Like people will pitch like we should do our meetup here, and then all the patrons will vote on where they want to have that meetup based on like these pitches for like random towns in the US to base this meetup. And it's not so much about like a central location, just like man, this place had a good pitch, let's do the meetup here. And the place that they voted to have their meetup in like on October 5th was Asheville, North Carolina.
Oh,
which was like fucking destroyed by this hurricane.
Yeesh.
Like literally the venue as well underwater that they were supposed to have this meetup. And it's crazy because it wasn't just like it was only this town because of this whole like, you know, it could be anywhere in the US. Y'all all decide on where y'all want to have this meetup, and this was the place that they decided to have this meetup. And then this hurricane, it's crazy. So the most recent like podcast on their thing was just a like, hey, instead of don't go to the fucking meetup, we're gonna be raising
don't
money.
go there.
We're gonna be raising money for them instead, and it was just like crazy.
Damn.
Yikes.
Yeah.
Fucking yikes.
Global warming.
Yep. We're in it now. We're in it. Got a deal. Fucking sucks. All right, gentlemen.
And I'm maybe getting sick.
No.
Stop getting sick.
Stop it.
It's
Stop
not
it.
healthy.
It's ironic, I guess.
Thanks for tuning in, everybody.
Yeah.
And he's gone.
Just this fucking guy.
This fucking guy didn't even say anything.
How dare he?
I don't
We even got done
understand the
6 minutes
desire.
early.
No, for real. I just don't. I mean, we're hanging out. We're talking about stuff. I don't understand the desire for him to just.
Yeah, there you go. I was waiting for it.
This.
These motherfuckers, let me tell you. These motherfuckers. Yeah. Okay.